Dun, dun.
And are
I
we
am
live? We are now
Superman.
live.
I am Superman.
Yeah, lemonade in my tea.
I got tea on the stove and I'm drinking oak right now.
I just got tea plain.
Always love good tea. My mama said kick him in the balls if he didn't behave. Oh, no. She's like, I said kick him in the balls. I was like, okay, now. Okay, why do we got two FFs here?
Hi, Heidi.
I didn't know we could do that.
I'm giving the heart sign. Look, see that? Go fuck. Ah, thank you, Joe. That was Jace. Jace picked that up.
We've seen that one after all.
Thank you, Heidi.
Are we live? Hello, live people. No, it don't sound live. Don't sound live to me. Solid silver sounds of the boys on hot. What the hell is that? And where did that come? Well, welcome everyone to News on Flipside. I'm sorry, there was some weird stuff. I don't know, it was some weird shit coming across my screen there. So, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the chat. I hope everyone's having a good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I just got off of the Author's Quill with John Goodman and, of course, April Solomon, as she's better known as the Dragon Lady. Because her art is mostly dragon. She does a
Ooh.
fabulous job as a dragon lady, by the way. I've seen her art personally up close. She does a really good job, and it's nice. It's nice to see people get out there and do stuff. And she's a very talented artist. And oh no, she's a very talented artist. It's just very very nice to see people who really know what they're doing. She does a lot of oil, which I'm a big fan of oil. Um, I just like oil paintings. It's not so much a thing as it is a thing. I just like it
Why is that,
personally.
Joe?
Just something about the feel of the oil, the look of the oil. It just seems to take
Okay.
me.
I
It,
thought
it,
maybe
it
there
it
was a
takes me
reason.
in. Well, there is. I mean, one, I like to touch it, but you're not supposed to touch oil. But I really do like the way it feels because there's peaks and valleys and dips and stuff, which you don't get in a flat painting. In this, you do. So I really enjoy those kind of things. And then the colors are usually more vibrant and more brilliant. So I like that as well. Carrie, no, she's a very talented. It's April Salomon art. I think it's artaprilsalomon.com or fineartsaprilsalomon.com. I would just type in April Salomon. That's probably plenty enough to find her. She's got very, very good art. It's not exactly cheap art. I mean, anywhere from $100 to $8,000. So something about Sean and Jay were getting together and buying me a picture. I don't know what that was about, but we can only hope that's a true statement. Jenny Lynn, who? Hey, now y'all be laughing. Now my feelings are hurt. Now I'm just hurt.
I can actually make you your own oil painting.
Oh, no, it ain't the same thing as the Dragon Lady. Now, I mean, she's the Dragon Lady. Unless you're gonna become the Dragon Lady, which I'm hoping we're not going.
No, we're not going that way.
I'm thinking we don't need to go that way with Jay. What's that, Reese? Oh no, we're gonna be in Rumble in a minute. For some reason, Rumble was saying we were here, but Rumble was still running the Arthur's Quill is what it was. So, but we will be there in a few minutes. The Rumble for UPRN is already up and running, and I will have the JoJo Mom one up in just a minute, and y'all can go over there and get as queer as you want to. How's that? Hey, people, just because I use the word queer doesn't mean it's gay. Queer.
Yeah, look it up. It means weird.
The gays, took over the word queer, but that's not actually what it was. Who? Oh, you'd have to ask him. I can't talk about Michael Engel. You'd have to ask him yourself. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not allowed to talk about what went down. It's how can I say this politely? It just has nothing to do with me. Even though I own the network, it still has nothing to do with me. I don't know. You'd have to write into the fabulous Michelle and ask her, or write into Michael and ask him. It's not something I can talk about. I wish I could, maybe Sean can or maybe Jay, but it's just shit happens. How's that? I don't know what to tell you. I miss him too, but it ain't got nothing to do with me. It's just one of them things. Well, sometimes in life, we're just not going to go there. But anyway, I hope everybody enjoys the show. He's still around. He's doing a show. He's not giving up on it. He's just not on the network anymore, and that is for different reasons. Well, sometimes there's a clash of personalities on the show. Like Sean calling Jay a weirdo, and me calling Sean a weirdo. And Jay calling me a weirdo. That shit happens sometimes. What is that? We are weirdos. What?
We love each other, Joe.
That's right. There is love. I'm not saying we don't.
We love each other.
I really think we got a good click here. We need to add. Now we're gonna have to look around and be adding a couple more people.
Thank you, Joe.
We're gonna have to add a couple more people in because the show's designed to have at least 5. But and we'll get back. If you're listening to the show and you think you're good enough to get up here on the chat and talk to chat. Now, if you're applying for news on the flip side, it's a little bit different. You really have to have a grasp of politics. But if you're applying for this show, you just have to be cool and like to talk and not be scared, when someone insults you or you insult someone.
Yeah,
it's, well, in all fairness, it can be a rough show. I'm not saying it can't be. I mean, it's not really designed to be a hateful
name because I really believe that. I believe Jay's looking for World War III, and I will take that.
Yeah, Jay wants World War. What are you talking about? He's ready for World War III, man. He's see, I'm in a place where I don't have to worry about it.
Jay.
I'd just like people to be prepared for the possibility that it could happen if things are settled down. I mean, it's one of those things. It's like a roller coaster. You get up the hill, then it's like, oh, we're gonna die, and then you don't.
The state and city I live in right now, it's a 1/1,000,000th chance of it getting hit by a nuclear weapon. How you like that? Hey Heidi, hey Joe, how you doing down there, guys? I didn't see y'all in there just now. I was kind of preoccupied with something else.
Yeah, most of us have probably that same amount of chance. I mean,
I like what
no, you Pittsburgh, bitch, you did. No, Pittsburgh people are dead. Look, people, I love y'all. I love in Pittsburgh. I got a lot of friends in Pittsburgh, but y'all dead. I mean, I'm talking about
No, we're
Pennsylvania.
dead.
Y'all dead. You're dead. You're too
You know
close to
why
New
that? Why,
Jersey
Joe?
and
Because we-
Chicago and Illinois
No.
and New York.
because we have too many hospitals in Pittsburgh. We have a lot of hospitals in Pittsburgh.
I think they're just going to blow y'all up just because of Fetterman, but you know.
When
It's just-
World
I like. What do you mean? I
War
like
II
Fetterman.
was
Whoever
going
said
on,
that? I like
Pittsburgh was
Fetterman.
under.
They might leave us alone because of Fetterman.
Okay, we beamed up Fetterman. That's not a good sign.
Uh oh. I heard it.
We beamed
I heard
up
it.
Fetterman.
Jay, you got your Trekkie boys?
He's been beamed up to wherever the hell we beamed him up
One
to.
and only sound effect is this thing here.
You know, I'm going to get a sound effect board for us, and because I used to keep a sound effect board on the studio. Oh man, talk about make some hosts mad when I come into their show and start doing sound effect. Ooh, boy, they get mad like or weirdo stuff from back in the 50s and shit. They get furious at me. Joe, you got to quit this. It's my show. I said, no, so it's your show. It's my network. I'm doing sound effects. Screw you.
Nowhere does it say you can't have fun.
It's well, sound effects are cool. There's some cool sound effects out there. There's a couple you can get. There's a couple boards you can get and upload them onto here. It's
Hello, Paranormal Heart Podcast.
uh,
I know her name, but I forget. I'm sorry.
what? Okay, Michelle sent me something. I have no idea what she's talking about. She'll get numbers after the show tonight. I gotta send her stuff. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, did I forget to turn the thing on? Damn it, I did, didn't I? All right, I'll have to go over here and mess with that.
Oh, hi, Cat.
Hi, Cat. Even though I can't see you at the moment. Hi.
Hi, Cat.
Okay, let's go up here. And okay, what's going on? Did I go to the wrong one? No, that's in the right place. I don't know. We'll have to see. It's not letting me
Well,
choose. I may
Joe's
have to redo it
waiting
again.
Well,
it's
when
not letting me
Joe's,
choose
looking
the
for
game.
something. I just want to say, I have. My name is Sean Kelly, and I am the host of Into the Night. I am on Sunday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. on this channel, and Tuesday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. So if you're not doing anything tomorrow or Tuesday, please come on UPRN and check out my shows Into the Night.
Right, go by and see him.
Those are public.
And he's going to be the closing show on Sunday now, at least for a while till we find out who we're going to put there. And we got to find a show to put there. And it's Jay. We might have to redo JoJo Mom one because it's not giving me the option to pick the thing. Carolyn. Which Carolyn? We got Carolyn's and
Carrie
who are you
Lynn.
talking about? We got Carrie Lynn and Carol Lynn. Yeah, they confuse me too. Don't feel bad.
It says it's on.
I know it's giving some kind of weird.
You know what?
Are
Are you talking about JoJo Mon? There was a big
God.
thing that came up and said you can't do it because you were on the author's quill. And then after the quill was over with, you got 24 hours. Then you'll be able to use it again.
What? Since
I did
when is
read
that?
I just
I
read
don't know
it.
what that. I don't
mean,
know what that's about. We just did the. I don't know, people. We'll find out.
I'm resetting it. See if I can anyway.
Yeah, maybe we'll take it off and restart it. What do you mean? Where do I live? I live on the Gulf Coast. Yes, I live on the Gulf of America. Yes, I do.
You got it right today.
If you walk out my back door, say 150 yards, you're in the Gulf. If you take a right, you're in Bay St. Louis. If you take a left, you're in the Gulf of America. But if you just go 10 feet out my back door, you're in Mahali Bayou. Yes. There's water all around here, man. This house was actually under 23 feet of water after Katrina.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Well, currently, Yeah, I'm 10 feet off the ground right now. See, it's supposed to be 20. If you look at my neighbor's house, he's 22 feet from the bottom of his house to the ground. He's 22 feet, and that is code now. But because this house survived Katrina, they had to leave it. So, but what they did was to make it the code. My roof, which you can't actually see right now, but from the peak of my roof to the bottom of the ground is 22 feet. Yes, it was.
Oh, wow.
It was a way of. So they finagled it in. Yeah. Well, I guess you can run up on the roof in case
so
it's
high,
fucked up.
Jay? Joe, why is
It's,
it so high?
Because code requires it's 22 feet from the ground. See, the law says that any house built, the bottom of the house has to be 22 feet. But since this house survived, the insurance said, okay, that's all fine, but it still needs to be 22 feet. So they put a cathedral roof on it. So the roof makes it 22 feet. But if you go to just the border of the roof right here, the 8-foot roof, it's 18 feet from the ground. It's not tall enough. But the bottom's supposed to be there. But you know what's funny about that? Insurance companies are weird. So because my house is only 10 feet off the ground, I get a break on the wind and hail. If it was 22 feet, it would cost me more because it's way up in the air. Yeah, I know. It's so much bullshit. It is so much bullshit. Wind and hail here is expensive. Flood's not too bad. Flood's about $1,000 a year. Homeowners is probably about $200 a month. Wind and hail can be anywhere from wind and hail can be anywhere from $5,000 to $16,000 a year, depending on.
Oh,
That's the most expensive one, and that's the one you need the most because a hailstorm or a windstorm gonna rip your roof off, and that's what happened last time. It ripped my roof off when Zeta came through. But whoever built the house left the shingle roof on. So when it ripped off the metal roof, the shingle roof was still there. So it didn't leak all over my house. I got lucky.
see, here's what Kat
Yeah.
wrote.
Hmm.
She thought you were saying blood.
I have blood. Oh, I was messing with them bad in the other show. They were talking about donating blood at Dragon Con. I said, I'm not donating blood for a shirt. And they're like, why not? I said, because I get anywhere from $100 to $500 for a pint of my blood. I got special blood. Screw that shit.
We got that O negative, don't we, Joe?
That's right. It's right. They pay for that O negative blood. Oh, yes, they do. And they pay good for it, too, because it's rare. It's only 7%. And it's
Can I tell you something?
Sure.
So O negative, I got it, and I would donate my blood every chance I could. And what happened was, I was in Scotland from 1981 to 1983. And so one day I went and donated some blood, and they told me that I could not donate no more. And I was like, why? Because of the mad cow disease. Okay. Remember that back in 85?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. And I said, but I was in Scotland from 81 to 83. Okay. And they said, no, we're taking it up to 85. So I'm not allowed to donate blood no more because of that. And I got the best blood in the world. I remember going and giving my blood, and they would automatically run it over to Children's Hospital so they can use it on the kids. You know what I mean? But I can't do it no more.
You're muted, Joe. Your mic is muted.
I hear muted. Okay. All these mute buttons all over the place. Every chance they get, they have to mine. If I tell them I got that, they're like, "Oh, stick your arm out, please. Can we get 2 pints?" And you better get your ass off my arm.
You better pay me for that.
Yeah, they'll pay you anywhere from $150 to $550. Just
Wow.
depends where you are and who it is. Yeah. Yeah, Denise, $550 a pint. Yeah, and you can do it every other day. So I could actually do like $2,000 a week, and not have to work at all, and just give them my blood. Yeah, screw it. They ain't get my blood in vampires. Ain't no telling where they put my blood. In some fucking alien somewhere. Oh, we have Joe's blood now. We can hover. No, screw that idea. That's because you live in Canada. You don't get paid for nothing in Canada. You should immediately move to the United States. Besides, I've been hearing all kind of bad stuff about Canada lately. Curtis, what do you mean? No, I have a lot of friends in Canada, including Paranormal Heart down there. It's No, Canada's got some issues right now. They got too much liberal interference in their country, just like we did. It's just well, Trump went and did what he did. They would have had a new conservative. What's his name? Polyev, whatever the hell his name was. He would have been the new leader. But Trump put the tariffs on him, and the Canadians went crazy. Which I don't understand. This Canadians. I'm confused about this. So you were going to vote for a conservative leader. I mean, the liberals were down to like 8%, and so Trump's going to put tariffs on you, so you immediately turn around and vote in the same party that was screwing you. I don't understand that. I'm just confused. Why would you do that? Yes, Michelle, isn't it? She is Elvira of Canada is what she is. She's a Canadian Elvira. I mean, have you seen it?
And she has her coffin. She has her coffin.
She does. She's the Canadian Elvira. All you got to do is look at it and know that. We're talking about Michelle DeRoche. She's the manager of the station. Yes. What do you mean we're worried about getting fired? No, she's the manager of the station. Why would she fire us for saying she's Elvira, the Canadian Elvira? I mean, she's a freaking Amazon.
She loves letting.
Yeah, she's the paranormal queen. We always pick on her.
I know some.
Well, there was a lot of stuff went on in Canada that should have been corrected, but the liberals have control again, and they seem to be going back to that woke craziness. I mean, if they have their way, I mean, there's going to be more immigrants living in your country than there are Canadians. It's going to be weird. They're going to take your jobs. So Americans, the liberals were bitching down here that, they weren't taking their jobs. Well, guess what? Ever since we started kicking people out of our country, Americans have started taking all those jobs. Yeah, they were talking about that just yesterday in the news. Americans have gone out and started doing the fields because these businesses and these companies had to go up in their wages because Americans ain't going to work for that kind of wage. Now the Americans are taking all those jobs that the immigrants were taking. Construction jobs, truck driver jobs, work in the field jobs. They're all going back to Americans. Ain't that a bitch? And the whole time the liberals were saying, oh, that's not true. That's not true. But guess what? It turned out to be true. So I don't know how it's going to, work out. And I mean, Canada has a small population, around the same population as California does. And there's a lot of people. See, this is what the weird part is. So there's a lot of people leaving Canada and going to other countries, including this one. And like California, there's a bunch of people leaving California and going to other states. So the liberals are abandoning their states and their country, but they're bringing their stupid values with them. Don't bring the values that made you leave in the first place, people. When you leave California, don't go back to voting every DEI and every woke project you can. It's the most ignorant thing on the planet. Wokeness is a failure.
Yeah, but the other thing you said, you're not far off. The population of Canada and California are about 1 million difference. It's just 1 million apart. 39 million versus 40 point something million. The fact, though, is that there's a lot more surface area to Canada and a lot more resource area to Canada than California could possibly give. So if we were to, sell California to Russia and, buy Canada from England, I don't think it would harm our economy much.
No. Some strange, but maybe good news. So the king said he's going to probably step down and make William the king.
He's going to abdicate. Wow.
Yeah. So he said he ain't going to die of cancer, but he's going to probably die with cancer is what he said. So your boy's going to take over. He's already said that he thinks Canada should belong to the United States.
When does that happen, Joe?
So I don't know. All he's got to do is say, give us $1 trillion and you can have Canada. The Canadians ain't got no effing say in this. Now, there's going to be a lot of rioting and bullshitting around, but it's only half of Canada's going to riot. The other half's going to be glad they're U.S. citizens. Yeah. Think about this. If you're a Canadian and you become a Commonwealth of the United States, your tax just went from 66% to 30%.
Yeah.
Boom! You just got 30% of your money back. You're going to be like, what the hell? Your health care is going to be better. It's going to be faster. You can't be turned away for any kind of health care. There's Medicaid, Medicare, and all kind of other wonderful things. There's Obamacare, so it's a different life for Canadians, and their taxes will go way down.
Did anybody know Saskatchewan went with Alberta to become United States?
I don't know. I know. I know two of the states. I mean, two of the Commonwealths. I mean, two of the provinces want to leave Canada, but I think they're locked in like U.S. states, or I think there's a provision in the government that doesn't allow them to leave. So you always hear about states wanting to leave, but they can't. There's actually a law against that. So if a state tried to, we would just send in the military and take the state. They're not allowed to leave. You have to have 2/3 of the states, 2/3 of the Congress, the Senate, and the House, and the president would all have to agree for a state to get out. That's never going to happen. Unless it's California. And we might say take in California.
I was going to say, unless you account for just California, maybe. They might do it for California.
Most of Americans aren't big fans of
California as? What would you make California? Mexico? What would you make California? Mexico?
No, they would just be California. The state of country of California. I mean, after all, it is the 4th largest economy in the world.
Thank you,
the state. But think of it this way. When we removed all of our military, California would have to replace that with their own money. They would be bankrupt in a year. They would have all the social programs they would be kicked off of. The social programs.
Just the way that they're allowing their state to be overrun by all sorts of illegal activities. When your mayor and the police just simply ignore illegal activities and let them escalate to the point the streets catch on fire, that's a problem.
It is a problem.
Also, wouldn't China or Russia, with California being wide open, not being part of the states, wouldn't that give Russia a good chance of taking over California?
No, because Russia would know, just like China, we might give them their freedom, but we're not going to let you have them.
Yeah,
we'd still consider that an act of war. But originally California, Seattle, Washington, Oregon, Washington, Oregon, California, Utah, I think it was New Mexico and Nevada and Arizona all belonged to Mexico. We bought it for $15 million. Everybody always says we took the land, but we didn't. We bought the land. See, they blame us for the indigenous there. We didn't go screw with the indigenous. The Mexicans did. And then we just bought the land from them. And then you want to hate on us for all the Indians up east. We didn't do that. Britain did that. And then we bought it from them. Same thing in the South. The Louisiana Purchase. The French went and screwed with all them people in the Spanish. We just bought it from them. So when you hear an American tell you was fucking with the indigenous, that's bullshit. Most of this country was purchased. They don't like to be remembering that, but there was. That's what the Mexican War was. I mean, they had all that territory, and we bought it from them. The same thing with the Louisiana Purchase. They had all that territory, and we bought it from them. We bought all that territory up in the east with the Indians. There's not much territory that the U.S. actually conquered here. But people especially liberals, like to forget that. And with Canada, we would never make Canada a state. We would do like Puerto Rico. We'd make them a commonwealth because we don't want them voting in presidential elections. There's too many liberals there. So they would become a commonwealth. Because you couldn't make them one state anyway. You'd have to break up the provinces. So each province would be a state, but they'd probably cut them in half. So you'd end up with double the amount of states. You'd probably end up with 10 or 12 states, maybe more than that. How many provinces does Canada have? What is it? 7, 8, 10, 12? I forgot. 5, somebody told me one time, but I forgot. No, I think they got more than that. Where's Siri at? I don't have Siri around. I'd ask her. It's but it's kind of weird. So I think we just make them a a
Cat might
commonwealth,
know.
you know. So just, I don't think she's in there. So we would make them we'd just make them a commonwealth, and they would get all the rights like Puerto Rico does, but they wouldn't be allowed to vote in the presidential election. That works for me.
She said
So
10.
10 provinces.
Thanks, Cat.
So if you cut them in half, that would be 20 new states. So we would have 70 states. Ooh, and more than half of those provinces would be liberal. So I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't think the U.S. is going to want that. So there'll probably just be Commonwealth. It'll probably be the Commonwealth of Canada is probably what it would be. Technically, that's what Canada is anyway to the Brits as a Commonwealth. So I always hear Canada always says, "Oh, we have our own independence," but it doesn't look like that to me. It looks like the Brits still own your ass. Even India kind of looks like the Brits still own their ass. The other day they put out a thing, who has the biggest group in one group, and it was Britain with 2.8 billion, and it's because of the Commonwealth. I mean, India has 1.4, almost 1.5 billion by itself. No, the United States has never been a Commonwealth of the English. No. We were territory that we kicked their ass to take back. Some of it we purchased, some of it we took back in the war. It's just the way it worked out. I mean, come on, they bought Manhattan for some beads. Now, I think they should go back to the Indians and Manhattan Indians and cut them a better deal, you know, and say, okay, we're going to give you cigarettes now. I'm sorry, that was wrong on my part.
So that wasn't right. But think about it. Look at all the Indians, Native Americans that have all those casinos out there, right?
Oh yeah,
and
casinos.
From what
there's
I
a lot of them have
dude,
casinos. Well,
that they want,
so now this one up here is going to have legalized marijuana,
so they can buy the land back.
Yeah, they got all these big casinos making money, and these and they got plutonium on them. They've got casinos. They got now, like the one in Mississippi, it's going to sell recreational marijuana. Mississippi only has medical marijuana, but the Chickasaw said, and they're going to sell marijuana as recreational. And guess what? There's not a blinking damn thing the state can do about it. Not an effing thing. So, you know, the Indians and Native Americans aren't hurting.
Right now to get recreational done by the end of the year.
And you know what's even funnier is they get to keep their money. They ain't paying us no taxes. And they can use our systems. They can send their kids to our schools. They can use our hospitals. They can even get on some of our programs. But we don't get no money from them. So what are you going to do? It's not like it was 100 years ago. It's a different world now. Don't get me wrong. Native Americans were treated shitty by everybody. By the Americans, by the Brits, by the Spanish, by the French, by the Mexicans. They were treated shitty by everybody. Only because they weren't smart enough to unite as one tribe. If the Indians would have united as one tribe, this would still be the nation of Indians. This would not be.
Or a good sized chunk of it. They would probably have lost the East Coast because that was, that was fairly well taken over at the beginning. So I think they would have lost that. But the bulk of the West would probably still be their territory.
Hey, Joe,
they said
Joe
there was
Fox has a question here.
What you got, Joe Fox? Oh, Commonwealth. Okay, Puerto Rico is a Commonwealth.
He says, what is the difference between a Commonwealth versus a state?
Yeah,
okay.
We are a Commonwealth here in Pennsylvania.
Well, how come Pennsylvania is a Commonwealth?
Well, technically, y'all aren't really Commonwealths. Y'all are states. And the way you know that is you get to vote in the elections. So a Commonwealth cannot vote in a presidential election. Y'all get to vote in the presidential election. So you're not a real Commonwealth. Puerto Rico is a real Commonwealth. They can't vote in any elections, and there's certain other things they can't do because they're just a Commonwealth of the United States. So that's just a difference. Like if we ever took Cuba, which is sounding like Trump might do, they'll be a Commonwealth. Technically, I don't even understand the fucking thing with Cuba. They're inside our coastal waters. Our coastal waters extend 75 miles out. So if you're at the tip of the Everglades, not the Everglades, if you're at the tip of the Keys, it's only 62 miles to Cuba. They're inside our coastal waters. So technically they're fucking ours anyway. And if you go from there to the other little islands. They're inside of Cubas. So really and truly, we could take all the way pretty much to Haiti if we wanted to, and be ours. But the problem is, do we want that kind of shit? I mean, Cuba has no real medical system except for really good cancer medicine.
Well,
but come on, the best car they got there is a 55, 57. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was about to say they have a very good collection of well-preserved 1950s American, classic cars.
Baby, you want some of this? And they do. I mean, they have there's a bunch. Actually, when Obama opened it up, my partner Sam and I, which is my stepson, we talked about going down there and buying a couple trailer loads and bringing them back and selling them here in the U.S. Or actually, what we really thought of doing instead of buying them was we were thinking about going down with some more modern cars and swapping them out, because the Cubans didn't know the difference. You go down there with a 2000 or some nice car, maybe a Nissan or maybe a Toyota, something nice, a Camry, something they're like, wow, look at this. It's got air conditioning, got stereo, it's fast as shit. There's parts for it. That's the other part. A lot of those cars had to have custom made parts because you can't get them anymore.
They also made most of them into lowriders too. So
that's even more money for them.
Stock either.
You could sell them for even more money. I don't know. Eventually, to be fair and honest about all of this, the only way this world can make it is to become a united planet. Now, the U.S. has the ability to probably unite the Americas and the EU. The Middle East, Africa, and Asia is going to be the problem. Now, Singapore might come with us.
I think Asia will be easier to control than Africa and the Middle East. I think there's going to be if we're going to do what you propose, and I think I know where you're going. I think there's going to be some scorched earth along the way. There's going to be some people who are going to be obstinate, and you're just going to have to be like, look, pick one. You joining us or yes or no? No, boom, you're dead. And I think that's going to probably be what happens.
Well, it might, but I mean, you can't do that with Russia and China.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, Doomsday Jay. I love him.
I got you, Jay. Doomsday Jay.
Just using logic, the human people, the human race are like that, and we don't all.
I think countries like Qatar and Dubai and even Saudi, Iran, Israel will all fall in line and become part of it. Now, Iran will have to take by force. Syria will probably have to take by force.
Syria and Iraq, you might have to take by force.
Egypt, I think Egypt will come in as well, and I think they'll take them by force. Actually, I don't think it'll even be us. I think they'll take them by force. And what you're going to end up having is a world government that can vote on everything except for the president. The president will always be voted from the United States, and that's just to keep from people like China or India getting a president in there that goes off on some crazy tangent somewhere.
Yeah.
So you'll see that for a while. And eventually we'll let Europe vote. And, after a few hundred years, everybody will get a chance to vote. But you can't let countries like India and China vote, because between them, there's 3.5 million people. That's a win, But whoever they vote for, that's a win. So you can't do that. So that'll all have to change. But I think a good chunk of the world, South Korea, it'll join.
Yeah, South Korea would join in a heartbeat. They're very, they're almost like the Japanese, with the way
Japan will join,
but they're very, very peaceful and very cool people. I think they would join us in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
especially if we take over the North for them.
Yeah. So Japan will join, and we'll probably take the North. We'll just say, look, you're going to die. You're going to come with us. Oh, well, guess you're going to die.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of other. Australia will come with us. There'll be a lot. New Zealand will come. They'll bitch, but they'll come.
Yeah, we could probably get 2/3 of the planet.
Close to it. And at one time, we controlled 2/3 of the planet. After World War II, we controlled 2/3 of the planet. If we wouldn't have gave everything back, and those countries were happy being where they were, we could have kept that. And if we did what MacArthur said, we went in and nuked Russia, we'd have had Russia. So all it would have been left was a crippled China that couldn't do anything. They would have been forced into it by starvation. The world would be united today. It would be a much different place to live.
Yeah, but China was our friends back then too, so it would have been.
And they were friends, but we would offer them a way in. We'd say, "Hey, look, you're our friends. Come in." And do you realize all that money, all those trillions of dollars that get spent on defense by all these countries would now be getting spent on space, cancer, other places? I mean, the world would change quickly. We wouldn't even recognize it today from what it was. And it wouldn't be this world that's here today. People like Elon would have been allowed to bloom at a much faster rate. It's where we were, but for some reason, we chose not to do that. We chose to give everything back. I don't know why we did that, because we had to know by giving it back it was just going to cause
trouble. Or was it exopolitics? I mean, because we know during that war there were many, many, many encounters with Foo Fighters in both Japanese and European theaters. So is exopolitics part of that? Did the UFOs come down and say, look, no, you just stop, don't go and kill Russia too? Maybe they needed that Cold War thing to like help get their information slowly trickle down to us.
It's where is this thing I was just going to put up on the screen? Anyway, let's see if it's over here. Is this it? Let me see. Okay, I don't know if we're going to be able to hear this because it's on the middle line. Can y'all wait? Hold on, let me come back to the screen. This was an encounter by Russian and the Soviets. Not the Soviets, but the Russians had a close encounter. So let me see if we can get it to run here. Where she be's at? Where she be's at? That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. Where the hell is it? Okay, it's not there. It's not there.
It'd be a red and blue butterfly. It's MSN, and it might have a blue.
Where is it? Okay, this is getting weird. It must be down. It must be at the bottom down here or something. Let's see if it's down here. Where the hell did it go? So it's in the list.
On your top of your browser, it should say go to the tab you're sharing.
I know, but it just when I switched over, it's got to be on Facebook. No, it's not on Facebook. Okay, that's Dragon Lady. Let's just get that out of the way. Maybe that's Discovery. No. What the bleep, man? Okay, I hate when it does this. That's StreamYard. We don't care about that. Stop. Get out of there. Come on, get off the thing. Okay. Oh, wait, I found it. All right.
Screen changed. No audio.
I was saying what they were talking about.
No audio came across, Joe.
Some people just knew they could save hundreds on home insurance by checking Allstate first.
Mm.
Like to check the neighbors first.
Now we got audio.
Before buying a house.
Hey, Jay, I just sent you a song, dude.
Okay, got it.
All right. You know, I look at the planes. I can't see how. Kat says there's no audio.
Well, this ain't even what I'm looking for. So anyway, let me get out of here. It's this was supposed to be a UFO that had been sighted by the Russians. Obviously, it was not. It was something entirely different. So on my left side of my page is a little group that comes up that lets you know, just, afternoon and morning news and stuff like that. But for some reason, it didn't come up as a UFO. It came up as that crap. What is that, Dean? Let me find it real quick. Yeah, it says close UFO encounter in the skies over Russia. Oh well. What's one of those things? The taco trade backfiring on Wall Street. What the fuck? The taco trade is backfiring on Wall Street as Trump seizes on stock markets highs and charges ahead with. Oh well, we don't care. Oh wait, here we go. Another one of these.
It's not up for sale yet.
First physical proof of advanced civilizations found 140,000 years ago. Oh wait, we gotta pull this up.
Yeah, we got to see that.
Okay, let's get this up where I know where it is so we don't lose it. Let's go back and find our pretty
Oh my
faces.
God, 140,000.
That's what I'm getting ready to pull up right now.
Let
I'm
me
gonna put it up
ask you
here.
a question. How can somebody determine the age of civilizations? How can they determine?
Oh, there's a lot of ways
it
they
was
can do that.
140,000
If
years.
it's dug up from
See, to me,
underground,
that's
how
the
many
biggest
feet or layers
question
underground?
mark
They
I
can do
got.
determination.
Okay, where was this?
That's weird.
That's not it. 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 So it must be on Windows. There it is. It's on Windows. Is it this one? Yeah, here we go.
You're looking for our page? Here we are. Hello.
And these don't always have audio because these are Windows. So
There it is.
Hey Joe,
uh,
Joe, you need a producer, dude.
there we go.
The spirit
well,
of
you
Bluebird.
Would be a
Okay.
producer. I am a producer. I just hard to produce show and show when you're talking. It's okay. That's the only downside when you're talking about all of this. Okay, let's see.
Why
Let's
can't
go
you could get
There
women to
we
do it for you, right?
Can y'all see it?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. So this
Yeah.
is supposed to be. Let's go find a title somewhere up here. There it is. First physical proof of advanced civilizations found in 140,000-year-old sunken city. So here's the sunken city they're talking about. Now remember, first there were 6,000 years, then there were 16,000 years. Now it's 140,000 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like a
Look at
crash.
this slideshow. What it's going to change up in advertisement. It's going to
Look
change.
at that. That looks like a ship.
Yeah, it's a slideshow.
Yeah. So let's go up here. We don't care about that.
It's hard to tell. That's underwater.
That's
Yeah.
underwater. I would wait. Maybe I can blow it up here.
Wow.
Didn't help much, but yeah, that's underwater. Let's go see what else. Yep, yeah, there you go.
Wow.
It looks like
What does this
Asian
look
or
like?
Japanese.
It does. I was going to say it looks like Asian. This is all stuff they found. More of that fake crap. Yeah, dude, we don't care. You look ugly. Oh, they found a skull. That don't look like a normal skull.
Mm. Big eyes.
No.
Look like a gray skull, except it ain't big enough.
Look at the nasal cavity, though.
I
That
know.
nose is awful
Look at
big.
the teeth.
Yeah, that nasal cavity is big.
I don't know, people. Let's see what the next one is. Oh, that's not underwater there. That's something else. So that's what they're saying was living in that city. Come on, cut me a fucking break.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this thing. This is seriously advanced.
That's AI, probably that. And if that's real, that's like
Gotta be.
Pagoda kind of stuff, or even Indian.
So
It could be Indian construction.
It's not AI.
But don't you think
Yeah, this is
with that
Dwarka.
structure being on the, if there would be, it would be like a coral reef by now.
It depends where it's at. You can see a lot of grass and all growing around it, but if the water moves certain ways, the coral won't grow on it. This isn't the first sunken city that has fascinated the world, but may be the most significant, from the mystical Atlantis to the real life ruins of what's that?
Dwarka
Dwarka?
and Heraklion.
So it wasn't Asian. Underwater archaeology had the other leg. Go on. I don't know, but it ain't AI. It's very advanced. Whatever it is, this part looks like it fell off of this part right here. It's just sitting next to it. Let's see what else we got up in here. Oh, we don't care about your camera, dude. We don't care about your commercial either. It's big. Man, there's the little diver guy. This discovery of the 140,000-year-old underwater city is only the beginning. This thing is way old, huh? If one of the lost cities have been found, how many more remain buried beneath the ocean? Well, probably a lot, since we keep
Probably
finding.
reconsumed by the ocean too that we'll never find. So a lot is lost
Hey,
to
Joe.
history.
Yeah.
Jay, Kat wants to know, when was this discovered?
I don't know. I have to go back and see. What the hell is this? I don't know what we fell into here. 8 real-life time travel claims scientists studied. Oh, man. Oh, we know what that is. That's the Eldridge.
Yep, USS Eldridge.
So this is not the Eldridge. This is a different ship. That's not even one of ours.
The Versailles time slip. Yeah, we don't
Oh,
paint
it's
our
an
ships like
English.
that.
That was an English ship.
Our ships are painted in Payne's gray.
And this guy was supposed to be a time traveler. Let's see.
Hayes, gray, and underway.
Yeah. Andrew Bisagio. Yeah, I never trusted him. Yeah, man, we got time travel going on all over the place, man. Where is this? This is, oh, there he is right there. Stands out like a sore thumb, huh?
Mm-hmm.
This was before the age of AI.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think people would be looking at that dude instead of where they were looking at?
Oh, we talk about this all the time.
You know
here,
what I
right?
That's
mean?
the Zendara script.
Now, what was you saying, Sean? Say it again.
That guy, the time traveler, why
Uh-huh.
wouldn't people be looking at him instead of what they were looking at? It's like,
Let's
I
go
don't
back
know,
and see what.
something tells me it was
let you go back.
CGI'd in or something.
It was before CGI
please.
too. It was actually before CGI, if I remember the claims correctly. Oh wait, let's go back. Let's see. Dun, dun, dun. No, it's not going to take us back to it for some reason. Huh. Well, ain't that some weird shit? Maybe if we go past this one. Hold on. Nope.
I'll be damned.
Huh. I wonder where it went. No, I guess we done lost it, but that don't even make any sense. We went all the way back to where we were, and then we came back and had new ones in it. Anyway, I know we got to get ready to go to a break. I mean, it brought us back to the 140,000-year-old city.
Yeah. Well, that's not that's where you started, though.
But when you leave there, here we go, and then now it's 20.
It just throws you to a random story each time you go forward.
Yeah, 23 ancient inventions that still have scientists scratching their head. And this is how ladies and gentlemen, this is how the Egyptians built their temples and their pyramids. That's why there's no scorch marks inside, because of these things right here.
This is the Dendera light bulbs.
Yeah, you see there's a cord going in there, and that's a filament right there.
Can you tell me what that is, Jay, please?
That's a light bulb.
Jay, can you tell me what that is?
Tesla style light bulb. If you look at the old daguerreotypes of Tesla and Edison's work on gaseous light, Tesla's had an external element like you see the coil underneath the glass. So it's exactly like Tesla's. His were reusable, refillable, repairable light bulbs, whereas Edison had a disposable glass light bulb that once it was damaged, it had to be replaced. Tesla's was more like back then they had milk service. When you finished your gallon of milk, you put the metal container out front, and the milkman came by and swapped you out for a new one. Same thing with these light bulbs. They were reusable, gas, refillable, refixable light bulbs. Period. Best
You see,
technology.
something's bringing power to it, and that's just a filament, is all that is.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but that's what. Oh,
It's the
I haven't seen this one.
zero device.
Is that a
I haven't
compass?
seen this one. I don't know
What does it
exactly
say?
what it is.
It was basically it charted the stars, not the satellites, the constellations, so you could travel at night on the oceans.
I guess it was an automatic sextant.
Oh, I
It was kind
read
of like a
something
sextant,
about
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a computer. It's a celestial
Yeah.
computer, and it used gears, and it was made in Grecian times when we thought they didn't have gears and fine toolery like that.
Roman concrete. Yeah, we know all about Roman concrete.
The
The
Baghdad.
Baghdad battery. Yeah, this is
Pottery.
another. So you see the Egyptians with electricity. Now you see, which, Baghdad is not far from Egypt.
The Sumerian, Babylonian, Akkadian races had this technology. That's how they made their jewelry.
Yeah, that's what this is for. Electroplating gold. That's what they found it for.
Well,
It's just with fruit juices too.
Yeah,
What they used.
that's all you needed.
Yeah.
You
What
could,
do
in
we got
America,
here?
you could do it with a potato, but they didn't have potatoes back then in that
Yeah.
part of the world.
Okay, what the hell is this supposed to be? Oh, this is the whatchamacallit
Sure,
map.
Reese map, yeah.
I still don't know what it's supposed to be.
It's the east coast of North and South America, the northern coast of Antarctica without ice, and then the western coast of parts of Africa and Europe and England.
is that when before it split into different places?
Well, we know there's been ice on the continent for Jesus,
Come on.
For at the time this map was made,
100,000 years.
Yeah.
So this would have had to been with that other city that was 140,000 years old. But I doubt we had those kind of boats back then. Well, the
Not necessarily,
Mariners
because
might
it
have.
does show that the coasts do line up. So what it probably is it's not that far back, but it's at a time when either the ice wasn't there yet, or whoever made the map, the ice didn't make a difference. They could see straight through it and see the continent below, one way or the other.
Yeah,
Welcome
well,
back,
we know that's what
Heidi.
I'm saying. We know how long the ice has been there, a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's been there a long time before the Ice Age. I mean, the Ice Age only ended 10,000 years ago, and there was ice on the whole entire planet before that.
Coming from the poles.
Well, the poles have had ice on them for what, 1 million years?
Yes, but I mean that's what I'm saying. The reason why the planet cooled, the ice came down from the two poles, the North Pole and the South Pole. That's what covered the Earth in ice.
No, that's not what covered Earth and ice. The
Well, that's where
poles
the-
were
that's where
still
the
in.
ice
The
came from,
poles
isn't
were
it?
still intact. We super cooled is what did that. They wouldn't, even if you took the whole Atlantic, even if you took the whole top of this cap and moved it, it would just melt. It wouldn't cool the planet down enough to cause an ice age. You need something besides. You need
What I'm
something
saying
that
is when
knocked
the
the sun
ice
out.
began, the ice began growing from the poles to cover the Earth. That's what happened.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So this was already under ice. So I don't know how to get in pictures of without ice. I mean, this would have had to have been really, really, really old.
Or, like I said, they have a technology where the ice makes no difference. They can see straight through it to the continent below.
That's possible. But the ice would have been way out here. It wouldn't have been just right here. There would have been no wooden ships would have been coming through here. They'd have been getting crushed. So that's when you look at things like this, you have to stop and wonder exactly what was going on. Was this somebody bored who did this a long time ago? Somebody who was fiddling around, some artist or something?
They're extremely accurate because the coastlines match up almost 100% with everything that's on that
Well, it
map.
doesn't mean they hadn't seen a map before.
Yeah, but these were drawn at a time when the Americas weren't even discovered yet.
Whoa.
So we think.
Hey guys,
We know they.
So we think, yes.
We know. Let's see. Now we know. Oh, it is time for break. We now know that the Vikings came over 1,000 years ago, but there was somebody before the Vikings, and Mariners came over 10,000 years ago.
And the Jomon from Japan 12,000, 14,000 years ago came over from the west and visited the west coast of the Americas.
And that's what's funny about this. So when they got there, they would have got to about right here and walked inland because there would have been ice. They would have just hopped on because the ice came all the way down to Louisiana. So
Well, actually, that's Europe you're pointing at. The bottom line is actually the North Americas, and the map is rotated 90 degrees in the wrong direction. The bottom of the map is actually the right side of it.
I could deal with a lot of stuff except for the ships sailing all over the place.
Well, maps typically do that to show where navigable spaces are for ships.
Yeah, but I'm saying they were just showing us the type of ships, the technology they had at the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it shows the modern technology. It shows the European technology.
So any ship like those dealing with ice would have been, oh, well, they would have been adios amigos. Even though the Vikings managed to get around the ice through Iceland and Greenland and all, but the ice wasn't that prevalent that back then. There was still a lot of it, but it wasn't the problem. When you get 10,000 years or further, I mean, basically all of this was an ice sheet. The only place there wasn't ice was the equator.
Yeah.
So you could sail through the equator and you could find gaps going in and out, where water was rushing and things were melting, but the majority of it would have been frozen. And I just don't know. But it's cool to watch. What's that, Francisco? What is it? Well, we don't know. We're just looking at the map. None of us were alive then. Didn't see, they're saying this wasn't done in the 16th century. This is
like 15, 16, they say. And
so this is
America
6,000 years after the Ice Age.
Yeah, and only a few years after North America was discovered. They certainly didn't know about South America yet, and they didn't know about Canada. But somebody
very
else,
strange.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Well, we know the Vikings. Oh, we know what this is. Nazca line.
Yeah, the Nazca hummingbird.
Yeah. What's interesting about the Nazcans is they boarded their children to look like their gods, and it was strange the way they did it. But we'll stop right there because I know we gotta go to break. Somebody's got a song queued up.
It's not queued up, but I have one. Let me get it. Get the page.
Oh, yeah, I sent it over to Jay. It's a good one. It'll cheer everybody up.
Oh, this ought to be interesting. The Sumerian.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's the star chart that I think allegedly shows a meteor that comes down and destroys what we would be biblically known as Sodom and Gomorrah and Zoar, 3 cities that were destroyed by the biblical wrath of God, fire and brimstone falling out of the sky and whatnot.
Well, this is perfect then because we always talk about nobody ever seen Nibiru because Nibiru was probably destroyed. And if it was, that could have been asteroids that came in from it.
Mm-hmm.
We can't rule it out.
We still every year go through several different meteor showers. Aeneid's meteor shower, and there's like 2 or 3 or 4 of them. It's like we're going through a constant shotgun blast.
Well, Halley's Comet, which only comes around every 80 years, but there are meteor showers here every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is cool though. Well, look, people, they're using triangles and pointers back in the day. A little chunk of it missing right here. Was that like where the meteor hit? Whole openness right here. The Sumerians had it together. They knew what it meant.
Cool shit. Demonis.
Yes. Wasn't this the floating city? Yep, this is it.
Demonis are basically spaceship cities in the sky.
Yes, there are several of these, and anytime they came around, they said the animals all came calling to it, the people. It was like everything was being called. Well, think of it this way, people. Back then, the only thing the Indians had seen flying was birds.
Yeah.
Nothing else was flying in the skies back then. So when you seen something flying, you were kind of taken by it, I imagine. And this sounds like it was pretty big.
Yeah, and trust me, you're not the Sumerian civilization, and you invent, the first not only well-spoken language but handwritten language, and then the next day after you've invented handwritten language, you don't write the story of Star Wars for people that just don't even know how to read yet. I mean, to suspect that these stories are, fictional and fake, they can't be. They have to be a record of what was seen, of what was recorded in history.
Well, so the Mesopotamians,
then you draw up a Star Wars story, people wouldn't understand it.
well, the Mesopotamians, the Indians, the Sumerians, the Egyptians were all great astronomers. And there's a lot they marked in the sky, but they didn't mark any rogue cities rolling around. None of them. Yeah. Not even the Chinese, which were another good astronomer group. And there was more astronomers in Mesoamerica. No one seen Nibiru. And we know they've been doing this for at least 6,000 years. So that's at least 2 times this thing should have came by. And it hasn't. So I guess Nibiru was bullshit, or it's the one in between the asteroid. It is the asteroid belt. It's probably Nibiru.
Planet 5 that was there collided with Nibiru, and they both are destroyed. The rocks coming at us are the remnants of Nibiru, and the rocks going around the sun are the remnants of Planet 4.
You know what, too? That might have been also why they seen it, because, at different times, different planets are closer to us. And, like there's certain time, Mars is closer, certain times Venus is closer. So this is a planet 5 times the size of Earth. It was closer to us because it wasn't that far from Mars. We'd have seen it quite well. But unfortunately, we don't see it. Now, when we get into these 10,000, these 10 and 16,000, 20,000 year old cities, maybe we'll see it there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right. Where's the song whenever you are?
Oh, go ahead. Cue it up and we'll finish these when we come back.
I got to drop that so I can get in there.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. Where am I at? Let me go find where I was. Okay, there you go.
Don't bite kitty cat.
Christmas in July.
Welcome. Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Brittany Ashley, your host of Breaking Norms Building Dreams, your guide through this transformative journey in both business and life. This is your place crafted for dreamers, doers, or anyone who has been told they can't. Get ready as we challenge those narratives together. You're tuning in live to the United Public Radio Network, airing on 105.3 and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. We are streaming on all the popular platforms every Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join me for a candid and thought-provoking conversation celebrating your unique journey because you are worth it.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Welcome to Negotiating Happiness, the show that helps you find happiness, success, and balance in your work and life. I'm Adriana Fiestra, your host for this journey into entrepreneurship and personal growth. We're broadcasting live on 107.7 and 105.3 FM in New Orleans as part of the United Public Radio Network. We explore the latest strategies, insights, and stories from successful entrepreneurs and experts. From managing stress to building a thriving business, we've got you covered.
If you have a paranormal experience that you would like to discuss on the show, please email us at paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com. That's paranormal.insight.podcast@gmail.com.
That guy was scary looking. I thought that was Jeffrey for a minute. Like to scare the crap out of me. Welcome back, everyone. I hope everybody's been enjoying the show. Any moans, groans, bitches, or gripes? Right to Jay. Jay said he's been bored lately. So,
can I make an announcement, Joe?
yes, you can. Go right ahead, babe.
Yes. Hey, listen, everybody. Like I said at the beginning of the show, I have a show into the night on Sunday nights and Tuesday nights from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m. on UPRN Talk Radio. And so if you're not doing anything on Tuesday, come over Sunday or Tuesday, like tomorrow and Tuesday, then please come in and check out my show. And if you can, please share it. Thank you.
And that's right. On Tuesday, he gets naked, so it's even more of a reason to come
The
by.
brass pole edition. You got to be
That's right.
No wonder my number. I better not get naked anymore because my numbers have gone
That's
down.
right.
Oh, I love this picture. It's a bunch of alligators with ice hats on.
Oh,
Who sent me that? It's alligators on. Look, if you're going to use those kind of animals to keep people in jail, you need crocodiles. Alligators really aren't that aggressive. They're,
But still,
unless you throw some blood in the water.
they're scary, but yeah, crocodiles are far more aggressive.
No, hell yeah. They'll eat an alligator.
I understand that, but even though just looking at an alligator that's pretty big, right? That'd be kind of crazy. I wouldn't want to make a move. You know what I mean?
Even a 3
I'd
foot,
have to
4 foot
starve
long alligator can kill a human being. So I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
well,
so much
so I'll tell you a quick story. So I was hanging out with a friend of mine. He was up from up north. He comes down, he's
That's
living
funny.
down here for a while. He tells me, let's take the P-Rog out. I got a P-Rog. Let's go take the P-Rog out, go paddling, go out to the lake, maybe catch some fish, crab. I said, sure. So we take the P-Rog out. Long day, went all the way out to the lake. We caught some fish, caught some crabs. Coming home, we paddling home. A nice stroke, cruising along. And like we ran over a tree log or something. So what the hell was that? All of a sudden, and remember, this P-Rog's 14 foot long. This gator comes up. He just pops up on the side of us. And at one point, his nose is actually longer than the front, and his tail's longer than the back. Then he sees the kids, and he starts slowing down, letting the P-Rog go up. And I hollered at my friend Ken. I said, I just grabbed both kids and just pushed them down below the edge of the P-Rog so he couldn't see him anymore because he was looking hungry. And he coming up. And he got right up on the side where the kids were, and he's looking. He couldn't see him when he's looking. I took the push pole out the water, put it on the side of his face and just pushed him away. And he kind of came back and I put the pole out again. He just kind of said, it ain't worth your trouble. And because at this time I had the gun in my hand because I was going to shoot his big ass. And but he's seen them 2 kids. They will eat kids or dogs because they don't know that they're not supposed to, especially if you've been feeding gators. I tell people all the time, don't feed gators because your kids and your dogs and your cats just became food to them. And they will eat a kid and they will eat a dog and they will eat that. Shit, there's a picture of an 18-foot alligator with a horse in his mouth in the Everglades. Helicopter got the picture. He had the horse by the belly. And I've seen many fights out there too with the alligators and the pythons since people decided to let their pythons go instead of killing them. Them bitches all over Florida. But now you can go out there and make money catching them.
Down there in Mississippi, Joe?
No, not pythons. We have gators.
No,
we don't have pythons. We have diamondback rattlesnakes, other kind of snakes, water moccasins, stuff like that. We have bunches of gators. I think we're the 4th state for the amount of gators we have. Louisiana's 1st or 2nd. It's a toss-up between Louisiana and Florida. And Texas, I think, is like 3rd. I think we're 4th, and Georgia's 4th, and we're 5th. That's how it is. Yeah, so it tells you how many gators are here. They were showing this. They were just these kids were out swimming in this pond, just minding their own business. All of a sudden, you see 3 gators pop up. Bloop, bloop, bloop. They weren't going to go mess with the kids because the kids were, like 12, 14 years old. And these gators are 3.5 foot long. I got some video. I'm going to go find it. I don't know if it's still on YouTube. I mean, on Facebook or not, since Facebook has got to where they're not leaving anything up after months. But I seen it the other day on one of my film takes. So I'm sitting out on this bayou, and I'm looking down the bayou straight down the canal. And all of a sudden, you see a head pop up. And I was filming right at the time, and his 2 front teeth are glistening from the water. It looks like something out of a movie. So I start panning the camera. There was 11 of them in this shot. 11 of them.
Hey,
so a couple weeks. Okay. What were you going to say?
I just said good day to me. Just popped in.
So a couple of weeks later than that, Linda and I out there at the same spot, just looking around, taking shots. And these people come in from up north. They were from New York, actually. And they're out there playing around, watching the water, throwing stuff in the water. Just look, it's a very beautiful area, and they're just hanging. Man, all of a sudden, their kid takes off down the boat launch, and I take off crisscross and I cut off the kid and push the kid back. And the day I got really mad, I said, look, dude, your kid can't go down the boat launch. I said, anywhere the water meets land, there could be a gator, especially on a slide. I said, a boat launch is a slide. He's like, what do you mean? I said, gators make slides so they can come up them and grab something. Oh, man, no. I said, dude, don't tell me no gators out here. There's tons of gators out here. So he didn't believe me. I go in a car, grab out a couple things, start tossing it into the water. Man, a big one come out. He was about 8 foot. He come just whoosh. I said, that would have been your kid, dude. I said, there's no way you'd have got it because by the time he just grabbed him, took off down the canal with him. And you ain't no way you're going to jump in the canal after him because you see all the rest of the gators out there would have made you dinner. I said, you have to be aware of these animals when you're around them. They're not really vicious, but they will take advantage of something. This kid was maybe 3 foot tall, not even that, probably 2.5 foot tall. And he got, if I wouldn't have been there, that kid wouldn't have made it. That kid would have been.
Then now would have gone too, because he would have gone in after it.
Yeah, he would have been. And then right at one of the at Barney's, it's a restaurant. This guy, he had a huge gator out there, the length of the dock. He used to put his baby on top of it, but they used to feed the gator chicken, so the gator wasn't hungry. But the kid kind of looked like a big chicken. I'm like, dude, I said, one of these days he's going to eat you. He said, oh, no. He said, these are the last shots of pictures being taken. He's not being allowed on the gator no more. He said, because a couple weeks ago, the gator kind of snapped his head up in the air like he's going to eat him or something. So he said, we were getting these pictures for this group, and we're out of here. And that was it. He didn't put him back on top of him again. That gator came by every day, same time, looking for his food. And they would feed him. They had a big sign, don't use this boat launch at this time, because he was a monster gator. Tell you what, I thought about shooting his ass a couple of times because he was worth a lot of money. It's like a $10,000 gator, easy. I mean, you could have made boots. You could have made several pairs of boots out of him, luggage, all kind of stuff. I mean, gators are just what they are. You know, they're predatory animals, and people always think they're slow. But gators can run 25 miles an hour on land and faster than that in the water. So they're not slow. Try to explain to people all the time. You think they slow, they not. I said, watch. We was at a boat launch one day. I said, watch, I was throwing chicken legs out, right? And one of them come up for the chicken leg, and the other one, seeing that son of a bitch come flying by, it's like, son of a bitch. I start throwing 3 or 4 of them out there. These gators come out from all over the place. He said, how many gators are out here? I said, a few hundred. I said, most of them you can't see. I said, but where you see that water bubbling out there, it's either gator or snapper, one or the other. Would you go out in the afternoons? You'll just see them floating down the canal. There'll be 30, 40 of them just hanging around. If they too little, though, the bigger ones will eat them. You know, they don't like the little ones hanging around. They're like, you don't have no business here. Get out of here.
Little ones are a nice appetizer.
That's how they look at it too. Okay, where was I on this? Let me go find this picture. There it is. What the hell is this flamethrower shit going on here?
That's weird.
Greek fire. I remember hearing about Greek fire.
Allegedly, it was a blend of liquid chemicals that, when once set ablaze, water caused it to ignite further.
Yeah, it sounded like magnesium or something. Something that didn't go out, water didn't put it out. It might have been something worse than that. Might have been napalm.
Well, so napalm, you can put it out, but it is a gelatinous mix that does stick to anything that it encounters. Greek fire, I think, was something similar, but again, allegedly the rumor is when you threw water on it, it increased the fire.
Wow. Well, yeah, that happens sometimes. So when we were taught in the Navy, one of the first things they taught you is there were certain things. In other words, like certain fire extinguishers you couldn't use, because if you did, it would just push the fire and create an air behind it, which would make the fire get higher.
Bigger. Yeah.
So you have to use a foam, and they had PK, what they called PK foams, and stuff you supposedly could eat because it was a protein foam.
Yeah,
and they even put them inside of the lifeboats in case you got hungry out there. It was the stupidest thing I ever seen, but they worked really good. They'd put a fire out really quick. That's what they were for, though. But the other ones, and you can't even do that. That's why when you buy them for like your house, they got A, B, C, D on them. You look at that because some of them will just spread the fire. It's not going to put the fire out. And I imagine it was the same thing with them. These balls always get on everything. I'm kind of like, why?
Round stone
all over
balls.
Central America, though. Some are carved.
What do you think? What do you think they are, Jay and Joe?
I don't know. I've been reading about them for a decade, and they don't seem to be anything. Just laying around in Costa Rica. They're in and a lot of them are in banana fields.
Whatever they are, they came out of some sort of a river at one point. They wouldn't have gotten rounded and ball like that, just standing on the ground. So
they would have had to have been a river where they could roll around.
Yeah,
they think these were carved. A lot of them they think were carved. I don't know about all of them. They think a lot of them were carved.
Some of them have carvings on them, yes, but I don't think they were carved into balls.
No. They said the ones that are in that banana field, they say those were carved by hand and then polished down. They actually think there was a polish, like a soft part to them. Like a limestone or something like that. The Shroud of Turin, not even. So we went through all this crap with this shroud. Had to hear all this. This is Jesus and Jesus. And then they find out through it wasn't the right time period. So who is this? If it's not Jesus, who is it?
I have no idea. It does seem to appear to have the same wounds as described as the Jesus figure.
Yeah. That's what they say, but when they did the dating, it didn't date right.
Well, that's because, all right, so I see where you're going. It's been dated to like the 2nd century BC, I think, or no, AD, which is way beyond the lifespan of Jesus. So what happened is that the shroud was damaged by fire in the 12th century, and they replaced it with a 12th century woven fabric that they thought best matched what the shroud was made of. When they tested it, it is from this area that they gave the fabric, so that's why it's gotten the false.
No. You remember?
No, that did happen. But then also the other problem.
No. But one of the guys who worked in this shroud was on this network. He's I can't think of his name right now. He used to host with me on Science and Beyond. He worked on this, and he worked on a lot of Egyptian stuff. That's what he did. Lord, whatever his damn name is. No, he was actually had been knighted by by what the hell is his name? Something Solo or something. He hosted with me for a long time too. He actually worked on this. He said they tested it 3 or 4 times in 3 or 4 different places. He said none of them came back to the right time period. And he's a Jesus freak, dude.
Well, the other reason why it did is because it was damaged by fire. So you're never going to get an accurate reading as to when it was made because of the fire damage caused in the 12th century. What it does is it's a carbon-based dating system, and when you damage something with a carbon-based fire, it does something to the carbon.
Well, when the pigments were tested, which isn't a carbon-based system, they also verified what the carbon system said. They were before Christ, not after, but they were before, quite a good distance before. I don't know. They always see when I see it. I always have the Shroud of Turin on.
I thought the shroud was just the face of Jesus, not the whole body.
No, it's the whole thing. Well, they had a big show on it when they were able to reveal the whole thing a few years ago, maybe 10, and they were remarked that where the wounds are, the wounds for the 5 wounds are the wrists, the ankles, and then the spear in the side. Well, he didn't have holes in his hands. He had holes in his wrists and holes in his ankles, not the tops of his feet like you see on every other.
Should have had him, yeah.
Yeah, where people think they should have had it. And so that led them to take some tests with some, cadavers that they got at, like a scientific supply house or whatever. But they hung real human dead bodies using the palms, a nail through the palm and nails through the tops of the feet. And every one of them fell off the crucifix. But once they put them through there and through the wrist and through the ankles, they stayed up longer, but they still eventually fell down. They wouldn't have stayed up for 3 or 4 days. Is what they got out of that. So then they tried it with tying the carcass to the crucifix and then putting in the nails. So nails through the wrist with rope bindings to tie them to the cross beams and their legs. They would have been able to stay up for 3 or 4 days. So that seems pretty cool, but still, what's the time frame on the fabric? If the fabric was made before Jesus' time, that's possible. But when did the image occur, and how and what caused it?
Do you have any idea, Joe? Do you have an idea of how?
Actually, it's in my head. So the guy, Don DeSalvo, is that his name? He was anyway, he worked on all of this. And when we got to talking about this, there's a couple of things, because Jay's absolutely right. It had to go through his wrist. Anything through the palm would have just ripped off immediately. Same thing with the feet. It had to go through the ankles. Now, there's an argument on how long you can stay up there, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 5 days. Jesus was on the cross, 3 days?
3 days.
So maybe he might have been able to stay. And remember, this is the Son of God we're talking about. So maybe he could have stayed up on there for 3 days. It's, it's a tough, flippy thing, but there's parts of this that just doesn't make sense. There's other parts of this that's just not right. So if you work out this part, and you work out this part, you'll notice there's a difference both in height and in width. So what is it, 2 different people?
Could be.
And even down here, when you look, if you look, this foot is flat. So there's a couple of, that's why some people thought this might have been a fraud, that somebody made this.
Well, we're also not sure how it was made. One thing they don't know, but but
a lot of people think it's a fraud and it was made. There's been some replicas made since then.
It's a fraud because when they did some X-ray or infrared? I forget what they did. It ran it through all different kinds of
they ran through a lot of stuff,
a lot of different scans, and like the infrared scans and like the X-ray scans, it comes out that there's actual like tomography in the shroud.
Hey. Mister said the back could be wider because of him laying down.
Yeah, that's a good possibility. But in any case, both sides of the reveal like it's a negative.
Okay, so when this picture was taken, he wasn't laying down; he was laying down face first. This was up in the air. So keep that in mind when you do it. And then on top of that, when you look here, he's a good 3-4 inches taller than this guy over here. I mean, let's just go straight across. I mean, that's a lot. And since the feet are pretty well lined up down here, that's a lot. I mean, that's I don't know what that is. And frankly, the other side reminds me more of an alien than it does of a man.
Oh, wow. What's the face look like? Alien?
So, and then you have to stop and wonder, what were these?
She says,
was this a spear?
Well, I think it's some sort of radiation occurred, and those are just it's like it's like a negative that you would take with a modern film camera. The radiation burned whatever was between the cloth into the cloth like a negative film.
Okay, now you really got to think about this. So if this was a cloth, it would have been draped over him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his shoulders the cloth would have been draped over his shoulders. That's not what this image is showing. See, there's a lot of things in this image that don't correlate with the way a body would be if it was at rest. It makes you think that maybe something else was going on here. And as far as the face, does that look like a Middle Eastern face to you?
The one on the right does. The one on the left doesn't.
So, I mean, there's just some stuff here that doesn't add up. I mean, this is supposed to be the front. This is supposed to be the back. Okay, well, this guy obviously got long hair. What is that, a ponytail right there? Where's the rest of it? And see, this has something draped over his shoulders here. This one doesn't. There's just a lot of stuff on here. We went through this really pretty good, but he was the expert in this, not me. I mean, this is what he did. This is what he did for a living. They went and ran this through all kind of tests. He was, that thing you were talking about, the movie, he was in it.
Yeah.
And their conclusion, real conclusion is they really didn't know.
Yeah. Well,
so some of them wanted to say, yeah. Some wanted to say, no. But in the end,
they had to say they were inconclusive. But Mish, they did treat it like a negative, and they found out that it's almost like a tomographic image. Tomography meaning it has bumps and ridges, so they were able to extrapolate a 3D images of the face and the body from this cloth. It was very, very cool documentary.
Yeah, was it Sir John DeSalvo?
No, it was before AI, this video.
Oh, it's before CGI.
Yeah. Well, no, the video.
What Miss is saying, though,
but
could we run it through AI? Can we run it through AI?
You probably
we could. I don't see why you couldn't.
Do you think we'll get the answers, or you think AI will just screw it all up?
I don't know. It's
You're welcome.
This is one of those things that's a mystery that we got to kind of wonder about. And a lot of people think that the cloth was obtained. So in the old days, they would take the cloth and they would heat the cloth up and they would put him in these things and they'd make a fire around it and it would dry him out and it would do all this other stuff to him. And so what they're thinking is there was a cloth that had been made maybe 500 years or 1,000 years before Christ's birth. And then a couple hundred years after, they think somebody made the images on it. So there's a lot of different things that it could be. I personally, I don't know. I hate to say when I don't know something, but I don't know. It seems to me that there's something else going on here.
It also seems to me that if an elusive, all-knowing, invisible God creature were to leave evidence behind of himself, he'd be pretty slack and lackadaisical in his all-knowing, all-seeingness. So if this is an actual biblical artifact depicting, God's son Jesus, yeah, I think he might do something so that we can never find out what the hell it is anyway. So we may never find out. It may be a hoax. It may be the genuine article, and I don't think we're ever going to find out.
Yeah, what's that, Kristen Dunn? We might not find out. We just, it's one of those things that we don't know that we just got to wait and see.
Yeah. It's a hard.
I mean,
bubble, but that's the reality of it. It's an
you
unknown.
You can't really hate on it because we don't really know what it is. Why won't this thing do what I want it to do? It's so somewhere on Facebook and all, not Facebook, on YouTube, there's the Science and Beyond. There's a couple of them, and this is one of them. Was on the Shroud of Turin, and this guy talks about how what he did, how he worked for him, what all they did, and what all the different things is they did to it to try to prove what it was, because they wanted it to be. They wanted it to be Jesus. That's who they wanted it to be. But there was other, they kept coming up with little glitches that didn't make sense. So we don't know exactly how out of line this is, because this and this is slightly out of line by about an inch. But this up here and this is out of line by several inches. And then we got where the knees are right here are just weird. And when you look where the bend is, Jesus, it's almost where his dick is. Excuse my language. Well, I'm just saying, it just, and as far as I know, these cloths were laid down side by side.
Well,
they weren't supposed to be
one cloth. It's not separate, but there is a picture that shows how they think he must have been laying under it to get those images, and I'll get it up here and see if there we go. Right. You want to take that down for a second? I'll show you what they were.
Hold on. Let me get back where I was. Okay, you're good. Go ahead.
Oh, that's the one. God, these new buttons are just so annoying.
Yes.
They used to say what they do. Now you have to guess.
I know, huh? Let me see if I can find it on here.
Yeah, so they think he was lying like
Sir
this.
John Salva.
And you see how the one foot is flattened out?
They wouldn't have buried him like that.
Well, they also have all these score marks and damage on him.
But what I'm saying is that's because first off, so stop and think about this for a minute. He was pulled, so I don't know if he would have had his knees would have been bent up. It should have been straight.
Rigor mortis on the cross, and his bones and muscles stiffened up like that. And they may have just put him under like that.
But that's not what they're saying. They're saying he was alive almost until they took him down. Matter of fact, remember they put the sword to his side to kill him because he was still alive. So I don't know
that when they do that, the lance goes through his side while he's still up on the cross.
Yeah, but he's still alive. That's what they were talking about. That was used to kill him because he was still alive.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't have been no rigor mortis. He still would have been soft and malleable and movable. And I don't see. That's what I'm saying. That there's so many odd things when it comes to this story that you have to see it. And then there's another point to this. There's not much in the way of blood on the shroud itself.
But there is some.
Maybe.
They do know. They're pretty sure. They can't test it because it's so old, but they're fairly certain because it does show under luminol and UV light, which is what they use to find bodily fluids at murder scenes, and it's all bodily fluid. So it could be semen, it could be blood, it could be saliva, it could be stomach bile, it could be fecal matter, any one of a number of earwax. It could actually be earwax. Any one of our number of bodily fluids will resonate under luminol.
Okay, I didn't know that.
So the guy I was talking about is Sir John DeSalvo. He's got a PhD. He's been working with the shroud for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I doubt anybody knows more about the shroud than he does.
Yep, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's and scientifically studied the shroud and former college professor. This guy's got into. I mean, we used to argue about everything because I'm not somebody who takes things at face value, because he also had a lot of New Age in it. Like a lot of his books. Let me see. Let's see what some of his books were. Power of the Crystal, decoding the Etching Secret. I'm saying that wrong, I'm sure. Magic, see, Lost Art, and then it's got all the stuff he worked on. He did a lot with the Egyptian people on the pyramids and stuff like that, and then he did a lot with the pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
He's I wonder if I can. But we hosted together for a while. I don't think he could afford the show. Actually, is what I think it was. Ordinary Information, John. He's older than 69. He's definitely older than that.
Maybe we're going to get him on the show. See what he's got any new info on the Shah of Turin and other, interesting things he's worked on.
We probably could. It's I don't know how old he is now, but he's he did a couple of things and he was interesting. A lot of fun to talk to, and he, like I said, he was involved with a lot of different things. It's let me see if I can do it this way. But the shroud is such an interesting thing that you just gotta kind of go.
Mish is asking if it's the only shroud. Well, I think it's the only
one like
artifact,
that.
but there are frauds all over the place claiming to be it as well. But I think
there he is.
This is the only one.
Sean.
Hey,
that's who it is.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
Now it's Doomsday J or what?
Yeah, because he's Doomsday J, man. That's why.
Only because I always can find the worst thing out of the news.
Because he's Doomsday J.
Doomsday
That's
J.
why.
Sean, he's looking forward to World War III anywhere in the world.
It's like to have people prepared for the possibility.
How you doing, Sean?
I'm doing great, man. Good to see you, man. So you got a beard going there, huh?
Yeah, I've always had the beard going.
Did you? You got a little bigger, man.
I know. I gotta clean it up.
How's your show coming on?
It's going well. In fact, that's why I'm here.
That's why he's getting moved.
Yeah, I'm getting booted from Sunday.
Oh man.
Slot after this.
He's going to be after us now. So cool. We got a much bigger audience leaving him behind. He can hang out, and that way, it's just a much larger audience. So he should have an easier time. But he's got a 2-hour show, so we want to get him over 1 million. So this is the place to do it, especially when we're on topics like this.
Night. I bet you it happens the first night.
I don't know, but I tell you what. Last week we were 4.695. So yeah, you might have a good chance of doing it. This show's broke 5 million.
Alone, not me. Tailwinds alone.
Well, no, I mean, it's because a lot of times when we're on topic, it'll be easier. Like tonight, we're doing topic, so it'll be easier for you to transition into your show. When we're just in a bitch session, it might make it harder. When we're just bitching about everything in the fucking world, which we do sometimes. We usually there's more of us though. When there's 5 or 6 of us is when we usually get in a bitch section. This was we got into this Shroud of Turin shit, and we've been going over it, seeing if there's anything that.
Well, not just the Shroud. There's a whole bunch of different ancient. What was it? Ancient.
Oh yeah, we got more that we're getting ready to click up to, but we just got stuck on a Shroud for a little while. One of the guys I used to host with, John DeSalvo. What did I do with it? I just had it. He worked on the Shroud, yeah. Mr. Actually, it's Sir John DeSalvo, PhD, is what it is. Actually, we can't forget the Sir. Yeah, he got knighted, and then he got. I think he's got more than one PhD. Him and I used to fight, man. Oh, dude, we'd get into major knockdown drag. I was like, you fucking don't know what the fuck you talking about, man. I'm gonna fire your ass. He's like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Because he'd go off on shit. He was telling me something about the pyramids one day, and I was like, oh no, man, we're gonna fight for sure. I said, no, that's not. You've been smoking crack before you come up on the show, didn't you? And he knew a lot. I don't want to hate on him. He knew a lot, but sometimes he would get stuck in a rut with his own something that he found out 20 years ago that's changed now, but he couldn't let go of it for some. Because we got into it one night about the tubes. You know, I kept telling him, I said they're probably light bulbs. I said you can see a cord coming off of them. You can see what looks to be a filament inside. It's glowing. I said there's no scorch marks inside the pyramids at all. Not even one. I said they had some way of making light, which didn't include fire. And since they had those pictures, I'm thinking that's probably a pretty big ass light bulb. But he just couldn't deal with it. It drove him fucking nuts.
Particularly in the case of where that picture is, it's the Temple of Dendera, I believe, or no, it's the Temple of Hathor at Dendera.
Yeah, let's go back right quick.
And when you walk into it, they've actually done it. They had a whole show of it on Ancient Aliens. And when you walk into it, within 27 feet, it becomes pitch black and you can no longer see. Yeah, there they are. And then from there on, you must have some sort of artificial light, whether it's a pocket lighter or a pocket torch, as in a flashlight. You can't see within 27 to 30 feet within the entrance of the building. So there's no soot on any of the walls, ceilings, floor, and there would be if you had flame for light.
You can even see these things they made to hold them up. You can see inside.
They look exactly like Tesla's light bulbs.
They do, and somehow they figured out how to generate electricity, which I don't want to hate up. I mean, there's the Baghdad battery right there. Maybe they made electricity like that.
Those batteries made with modern materials and using modern, mass-produced citric acid orange juice were able to produce 9 or 10 volts, like a 9-volt battery, which is more than enough to electroplate jewelry.
Yeah, so I don't know, whatever it is, it's cool. It doesn't look like it's that. As far as the shroud goes, it's whatever it is, it is. I mean,
your opinion is your opinion. It's either 50-50. It's either the genuine article or it's a well-done fake that's fooled everybody for centuries.
Well,
that's all it is. That's all it can be, really.
Yeah, really, that's all it can be. And I mean, there are definitely flaws in it. So, those flaws will have to be explained away. The height differences, the way the knees are, and some of the other things on it. They just got some issues they're going to have to explain. But hey, it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, it's a cool thing.
Did I bring up Crazy Guy?
What's the next one in there?
I'm getting ready to click it. I was looking to see if I brought up John or not. I had him somewhere up here a minute ago. Okay.
He's on the torrent page right now.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I was saying. But I had him on. I had him somewhere. He's on one of these pages. Let's see. Oh, look at that! An armored bank truck. What the fuck? We'll get out of here. I know. So what the hell is this? Wait, what is this?
Looks like strawberries, dude.
4th century Roman chalice mesmerizes with its ability to change color under different lighting. Huh.
Okay, man. So somebody got some different kind of glass.
Nanotech.
So no, man, that's what that is. That's volcanic glass because it changes colors when you hit it with light. It'll be red, green, blue, purple, depending on how much light goes through it. And there was a lot of volcanoes back there too in the day. So
they're saying that this is some sort of nanotechnology, tiny pieces of gold and silver embedded into the glass.
Maybe somebody figured out how to do it.
Yeah, that's
just put a magnet to it.
I see a person in it, so
just put a magnet to it.
Well, gold is not magnetic, so it wouldn't.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it wouldn't. The magnet wouldn't.
Oh, Archimedes' death ray. Yeah, so this one is it's a series of mirrors that Archimedes, who also came up with the Archimedes screw, which is a way that we now use to move boats through locks in like the Panama Canal kind of thing. But this was a mirror or some sort of cascade of mirrors that focused the light from the sun and turned it into a like we do with ants in a magnifying glass to burn the boats coming into harbor during war.
That doesn't seem that far-fetched.
That is interesting there.
Yeah, that don't seem that far-fetched though.
Yeah.
What is this one?
Mirrors, you could probably do it.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely do it today. I mean, they do it with solar concentrating thermal. That's why birds, when they try to fly over, it gets zapped.
Hey, Casey.
Concentrated mirrors.
Okay, with the moving the stones, people, we're moving. I'm tired of y'all thinking aliens move the stones. Get the fuck off of that shit.
They did.
I guess that's over. No, wait, maybe it's a different one.
Back to the beginning again? Oh.
No, it's something different. For some reason, they had that in there twice. The Iron Pillar of Delhi. Well, so it's iron. Big the buck deal. What is it?
But it doesn't, what's the word for rust? It doesn't oxidate. It doesn't oxide. There's no oxide on it. It's just straight meteoric iron, no rust. It is pure iron, no rust. Is that not weird or what?
You must have came from some meteorite somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. It's meteoric iron, but it doesn't rust.
Okay, we're now looking at drugs.
That's something that's Voynich manuscript.
Give me some drugs. You know, that's what sucks so bad about the burning of Alexandria. We lost so much stuff. Yeah. Half of what we're looking at could be explained. Who was it? No, it wasn't the Greeks. It might have been the Greeks, but I thought it was.
Hey, Google, who burned the Library of Alexandria?
I want to say it was a Mongol.
Julius Caesar.
Was it?
Was it? No, it was a Romans.
No. Come on.
Julius Caesar. On his pursuit of Pompey into Egypt in 48 BCE, Caesar was cut off by a large fleet of Egyptian boats in the harbor of Alexandria. He ordered the boats to be burned. The fleet was destroyed, but the flames spread to the city and the library.
There you go, Julius Caesar, 48 BC.
I think that's some bullshit. Oh, look, we got a bird.
Hey, Google, stop.
Yeah, Google, you're full of shit.
Hey, Sherry.
There's the weird bird with the vertical tail fin that's been broken off.
Yeah, it was apparently it's a gradual decline and destruction over time. So the Julius Caesar fire did damage it, but or it likely only damaged it.
It's a shame because they say it set us back almost 1,500 years. At least 1,500 years. But hey, so did the medieval religious times. They set us back about 500 years. That's about 2,000 years it set us. But fuck, we'd be living on Mars, man. Elon wouldn't even have to be trying to get us there. We'd be living there. This just looks like a plane I made out in the yard and threw around.
With a bird's head at the front, yes, but it also no animal in nature has a vertical tail fin. This one has it's been broken off, but there was a piece of wood that went up from the back there that would be the back ailerons. The rudders and all that.
Well, there's a lot of those bird-looking planes around. Okay,
yeah, but they have vertical tail fins. No creature in nature has that.
Yeah, no, but I mean,
isn't that a marble timer?
What?
Seismograph. Yeah, they use like some sort of marbles, I think. Metal marbles that.
Yeah, it's for earthquakes.
They fall into the frog's mouths to indicate earthquakes coming.
Damn. I never heard of that.
Well, see, there was a lot of things we were more advanced.
A lot of weird, what do you call them? Parts, out of place artifacts.
Yeah, there are a lot of out of place artifacts. See, this is another 6,000 years. So we keep pushing this date back. So we went from 6,000 to 16,000. Then we seen the one early at 140,000. So man seems to be a little bit older. Modern man seems to be a little bit older than what we were told in school. We're definitely older than 6,000. The Cuban pyramids prove that we're at least 16,000 years old.
Yes.
And it also proves that there were people living on this continent long before anybody from Europe came over here.
Correct.
And who the hell was that?
On both sides of this continent, the Western, the Atlantic, and the Pacific. The Lemurians and the Atlanteans, if you will.
So there was definitely people on this continent before, and now that's going to screw up everything they teach in school. That sunken city. I mean, all the pyramids on the Giza flat can fit in that one pyramid. That's fucking just that's huge.
Yeah.
Look, good question, Kat. Good question.
Yeah.
We're told something that's not true.
Oh yeah, Troy's.
Wow.
Well, Troy was one thing is a fascinating place. It was at once a thought fictional location, but what's his name? Heinrich Schliemann. He was bound and determined. Just going through the book of the Iliad, he was bound and determined to find the city, and lo and behold, he found it. And guess what? There's hydraulic system is like identical to Rome's.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All parts of it still work.
And see, that's what's the funny part is the system that was found off the coast of India, thanks to the tsunamis, which are 15,000 years old, had the same thing. So it just shows that we were doing this stuff long before anybody wants to give us credit for it. But what we got to stop and wonder is what the fuck happened to everything? Where did everybody go? What killed everybody else? Was it the Ice Age? Was it something else? As far as I know, there wasn't any other big asteroid hits. It's let me get out of here.
Did they commingle become in the concentrates where they are now, England and Europe, or what happened? They taken off the Earth?
I don't know. There was some shit went down. I know that, and we're the ones suffering for it. It's just weird when so when I was going to school, there was, it's 5,500 years, and it was 6,000 years. And then all of a sudden, somebody finds the Zero Dynasty, Egyptian Zero Dynasty, which is actually older than the Sumerians. And then we find out the fucking Mesopotamians older than both of them. So, so just right there in that one spot, because you've got Samaria, Mesopotamia, Egypt. They're all like connected to each other.
No, yeah, and Acadia and Babylon as well.
Yeah, so for some reason or another, somewhere along the line, something or someone decided, oh, you know what? They're getting too smart. Bleep. And what's going to happen when we get too smart in the near future? It's going to be another bleep, except this time it'll be with nukes. And we don't even know. It could have been with nukes back then. We wouldn't know the radiation already be gone. So
it might even be just a gas they introduced in the atmosphere that everybody breathes it, and only certain people are affected by it and drop dead instantly. The rest survive.
It just pisses me off that we know for a fact now that we're at least 16,000 years old, which is before the fucking Ice Age ended, and we still don't want to talk about it. Which means that city off the coast of Cuba was an active city at that time because the ice was still there.
It means we run concurrent with Mastodon, Dire Wolf, Dire Bear.
Also with the cities,
fauna, like plants. But then we were domesticating dogs at that point. I have an article on my phone where they found the herd of mastodons years and years ago in Siberia that were flash frozen, and their people are eating steaks off of them because they're still edible. They recently found in that same area, the Siberian Kush, they found a puppy with most of its fur and soft tissues intact, including its teeth. And it is a species that's not quite fully feral and not quite fully domestic. It's kind of right in between. It's like in a transitional period of where human beings were probably starting to domesticate them, which dates us to 20,000 years ago. That's how old this puppy is.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the city we were just looking at a little while ago, which says we're at 140,000 years. That's a very advanced city for 140,000 years ago. I mean, what were we doing back then? Running around with skins on and arrows.
All right, I want to
hunter-gatherers back then, if at all.
I want to throw this out. So you all know Oak Island, right?
Yeah.
And they've come up with dates that are there before Christopher Columbus even found North America.
Yeah.
So if the stuff that they find is legit, does that mean they have to go into the history books and change history?
Yeah.
Well, no, they've already changed history because they know the Vikings were here 1,000 years ago. So they've changed history that Columbus wasn't the first one to come to this planet, this country. The Vikings were. But now, just recently, they found out somebody else was here before them. So we just keep getting pushed further back. And this city we're talking about, the Cuban city, this city. So if you're at the bottom of Florida and you look off to the right, straight towards Cuba, this is where this city's sitting. More than likely, these continents were much closer back then, and the ice connected all of this. Yeah, well, the ice connected all of this. So this is a big city. It's not a little city. I think it's 500,000 or larger. So this is a city sitting right there, 16,000 years ago. Now, the fucking Europeans didn't even know what a boat was 16,000 years. Nobody did, except for maybe the Mariner race, but we're not even sure where they came from.
20,000 years ago, we were hunter-gatherer types. We did not build or hew extremely large megalithic rock structures.
So then from that point, you're sitting in that Cuban city and you look straight out east across
Yes,
the
that's true.
continent, and boom, there's the Indian 2 cities over there. It's weird that we have at least 3 cities that date back 15 to 16,000 years. That's crazy, and they probably are older than that, but that's all they can get right now because Cuba put a stop on any research on that city off the coast, and India put a stop on any research off those cities. Oh, and who told them to do that? America, the UN, somebody stepped up and said, hey, stop fucking with them cities. And the only reason I knew what was going on is because a friend of mine used to drive the Yellow Submarine. He was one of the subtenders. Actually, he was one of the sub drivers with his own sub going around down there. And it's way deep. It's not in shallow water. So it just makes me wonder how fast did it sink? Or was it on ice? Or was it on land and the land shifted and Cuba came up and it went down? I just, the ones off of India, I know what happened. The land just shifted.
The flood system or flood story, the flood myth.
Yeah, and the water in India just rose, but that's a lot of water would have rose. And I don't know. It's weird. It's strange how all this shit came to be. Jackie, what are you talking about? No, that's not Michael. That's Sean. What are you talking about?
That's Sean, man.
Michael.
That's Sean. SEAN.
Michael wishes he was that cute, man. Give me a break. Oh,
hey,
shit.
Mish has a question for you, Joe and Jay.
What's up,
Mish?
Mishy?
But how do you know? Question mark. It's
how do I know
we
what?
have been told? Question mark. What you were talking about earlier.
Okay, so the cities we know about because they've been seen and they've been aged. So we know that they're, and let me tell you, this is what the scientists said, that they're at least 16,000 years old. The ones in India are at least 15,000 years old.
15,000 years ago.
So,
and there are also 2 cities. I forget the second one's name, but one is Dwarka. The other one I forget. But they're named in several ancient texts, having been after Vishnu or Shiva launched some sort of weapon, and a flood came and buried both cities instantaneously.
God bless.
Yeah, so there's other writings of cities we haven't found yet that are supposed to be around the same time frame. So there's cities out there that are 20,000 years old that we're all wondering about. When you look at the size of this city off the coast, it's huge. It's as big as everything in Egypt. It's how big it is. And it kind of looks like the Egyptian stuff. It kind of looks like a cross. Actually, to be honest, it looks like a cross between Sumerian and Egyptian. It really does, because you can see the base of the pyramid looks more like an Egyptian pyramid. When you start stacking, though, it looks more like a Mayan pyramid or a Toltec pyramid. So it looks like it was both. So as far as we know, that could have been, I've said this a long time, Atlantis could have had a big city on it. The damn city sunk. The survivors, some went to South America, some went to Egypt or to the Middle East.
Well,
and that's where they landed.
Then there's the reshot structure, the Eye of the Sahara. It's in Mauritania, right? It's in the Sahara Desert. It's these like concentric circles that are just out in the middle of nowhere. But it's so large that astronauts use it to navigate back home. It's described exactly like Plato describes Atlantis in terms of circles of water, etc.
Yeah, well, it's how Atlantis was supposed to be. It's supposed to be Atlantis with a circular city. Well, actually, it was supposed to be Atlantis with a canal.
Circles.
Yeah, it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be Atlantis with a canal around it, and then there was supposed to be land, and there was supposed to be another one with Anran, and then it was supposed to be 2 existing left and right. And there's a couple of places that I've seen that where he's talking about. Then there's one in the not the Persian Gulf, the Mediterranean. They found a group of cities and a group of things like that in the Mediterranean. And remember, the Mediterranean hasn't been full of water all that long. It was only because the Mount of Hercules opened and filled it up. Before that, there was a dry area. I'm thinking that they got these dates on these floods wrong, and these cities existed much longer than we were told they existed.
Oh, yeah. Someone is holding back the full story, and someone knows it. The Vatican
probably. They might know it, or they're like us, going, "What the fuck is going on here?" Let's just play stupidity and figure out what's going on. Sean's going to start like 10 minutes at the top of the hour. Not tonight, but next week. Isn't that what they do? What did hell he tell you? I mean, Michelle.
Yeah,
tell you?
yeah. So like 9:50, I'll just start the music, get everybody on, and then it.
Yeah, because that way it lets us fuck around until we get off, and because we rarely end properly. It's Jay's fault, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
usually.
all Jay's fault.
Because Jay brings up Star Trek stuff, man.
Yeah, I say let's stop, and he's got to be playing with the little calculator. I mean, no, man, it's just sad.
Yeah,
see, there he goes. Okay, see, there he goes. Drama. Pal. No, y'all can keep using Pal Talk. I would rather you use one of the many venues we have for in here. But if you want to use Pal Talk, you can. Well, eventually I'll have Pal Talk set up so the whole station can use it instead of just pestering me. How's that? Well, you just put a name on there. You open it up.
Well, I need two screens, two monitors for that, Joe.
No, it'll come up in a small screen over here, over there, and you can leave it in the background. Every now and then you'll hear a tweet or something. You can go look and see what they're talking about. One of the reasons I like Pal Talk is they tend to ask really good questions over there. They're more educated on the topic matters we talk about, like the Shroud thing. If I'd have let them in on that, because there was like 400 comments, we'd still be talking about it. So they all got their own opinions on what it is. And Lisa, you know what? I don't know where the Shroud came from. If Jesus made it, fine. If he didn't, fine too. It's not a thing for me. I'm kind of with Jay. I don't know why Jesus would have left it behind, but still, it could have been alien people. Let's not rule out. It could. There's a couple of things. One, the face structure is wrong for somebody who lived in the Middle East. We can't tell what the color is because we don't know on there. If you look at the two things side by side, the right side is 6.5 inches taller than the left side. Don't ask me. There's some big issues in it. There's more than that. There's more than those issues in it. So all of that's going to have to be explained away. And there are people out there who have written in the past that said they hoaxed it. We're talking people from almost 2,000 years ago, but they said they got, and Jay and I talked about earlier, they said they got a piece of cloth from about 500 years earlier, and they used that to make it some 500 years after he was dead. I don't know. I don't know how they would have got the stain on it. There's so many ways they say that it got on there that it's not even funny. And the sad part is I'm pretty sure I could replicate an image like that. I'm pretty sure without using radiation. Yeah.
Jay, you're the photographer, dude. Could they do it and just take a picture or something, put it in black and white?
If you put the right chemicals together, that
that's not really a picture.
I mean, the original negatives were done on types of metals, either daguerreotypes types and tin types. There was a piece of metal that was exposed to the light with a silver nitrate acid, and when there was a big plastic plate, and then you pull this black thing out that took the light and hit the chemicals. If you can do that to metal, you can do it to plastic, which is what we modern film is. So yeah, if you put the right chemicals together, you could probably do that. What kind of light source would you use? Would it be radiation? Would it be an X-ray?
But would it be detectable like the Epstein video? Yeah. Right, where like the Epstein video is basically somebody edited it in Photoshop and then uploaded it, and that's the one the Trump administration released. You know that, right?
Yeah.
No, I haven't heard about that, but no, what I'm saying is that the shroud could be created in that fashion. It depends on the radiation used. It could be light. It could be, what if he was a light being himself and he transformed into light and burned his image into it? There's so many different ways.
There is. Well, no, Christopher. You know what? I forgot about Pam Bondi last night. This is my whole thing about Pam Bondi. Okay, she just should have said from day one, the Biden administration destroyed the list, and fuck it. That's all she had to say. And there's nothing anybody could have done, and there's nothing anybody could have said. But no, she didn't do that. She first, it's on my desk, and then some other bullshit, and then some more bullshit. And now it's destroyed. What the fuck? Who's going to believe that now? Even I'm not going to believe. I'm like, fuck it. I mean, to be totally honest, I don't give a shit whose name's on the Epstein list, because it ain't never going to see the day of light. And I said that from the very first day they said they had it.
Well, I care about it because, like, our entire society is run by an elite pedo ring that's compromised by a foreign country.
But the real problem with the Epstein list is there are probably a lot of people on there that had nothing to do with that. Just people who were going out to his island to have a good time, not to go see the kiddies. Because there wasn't, out of all the people that went out there, when you look at the list, I mean, when you look at the amount of people who were going out there, there weren't that many children out there to cover all the people who were going out there. Some of them were just people going out to hang out with the hookers and the hoes, just like Diddy. But the problem is whatever ones, and there are some nasty ones on there, I would bet you that 90% of them were Democrats. And this is the thing, somebody said, oh, Trump's on it. Well, I said, well, you know what? If Trump was on it, fucking first thing the Democrats would have did is make that shit public. They would have had to. Because it would have kept him out of office. He would not be president.
It's mutually assured destruction. If they released him doing it, then he would have released them and they would have destroyed each other. That's why the list is so effective, right? That's how it works. That's how it's a compromise thing. Because let's face it, most world leaders are psychopaths. And the only way that you can control psychopaths,
we don't even need the list they're talking about. We have the 2 aircraft list, we have the guest list at the House, and we have the other guest list at the House. So I don't understand what this list is so important for, because all right, we know Bill Clinton was on the aircraft. We know Barack Obama was on the aircraft. Trump was never seen on any of the aircraft or any of the guest list at the House. So if he was doing it, he was doing it at Mar-a-Lago or doing it on his own plane. But he wasn't there to do it. He probably knew. He probably knew.
That's how you know he's doing it. He didn't release it.
He did. He's not. He already said this. He said, "Release it, not release it. I don't give a shit. That's up to her." And I don't think he really cares either way. I think he's got enough oomph these days that he's not really worried about it.
Yeah.
I think given the beating he's getting among his base right now, I think if he wasn't on the list, he would have.
What beating? He's got a 56% approval rating. So right now, as he stands, his population, his popular poll across the country is 56%. His poll on the immigration is 81%. He's ruling. Plus, he's bringing in $300 billion a month. Fuck, there ain't nobody fucking with him. He's got NATO to do what he wants. Even the head of the EU said no man could have done what he done but him when it came to Iran or NATO. All the NATO generals said, let me give you a blowjob. I mean,
I wouldn't call Iran a win. I wouldn't call Iran a win. Like, they're going to strike back. I mean, and they're going to get a nuclear weapon now because we didn't destroy their nuclear weapons.
Well, if Iran ever makes a mistake, no, just because the only way they can get a nuclear weapon is from North Korea. China told
Pakistan
Korea,
or China.
China told North Korea, if you give them a weapon, we will flatten you. Xi Jinping has already said this. He's not
when
putting
did he
up
say
with
it, though? Did he say
just the other night, about 4 days ago? Yeah, about 4 days ago, he said,
"Yeah, but what would he say? Right? They're not going to do that.
No, because he don't want them to have a nuke. You got to remember, the only thing China has is the ability to make money. If Iran nukes somebody, that's all gone for China. It's all gone. No one's going to do business with them ever again. They will be a bank.
If the U.S. or the Israelis continue bombing their infrastructure, China's not going to get oil. Right? They're gonna lose access to their oil supply. What's the most effective way to prevent anybody?
But I don't know why anybody's worried about that. They're going to get most of their oil from Russia anyway. I don't know why people keep talking about the oil in Iran when Russia's supplying them the majority of their oil. I never understood that.
If we were to cut off the Strait of Malacca,
I'm pretty sure that's the only person Russia's selling oil to is China.
If we were to cut off the Strait of Malacca, Russia's not going to be able to sell them enough oil to supply. At least a few years ago, I don't know how much it's changed. 90% of Chinese oil.
We'd have to see with the pipeline how far the pipeline is on. But they're building a pipeline from up north directly to China. So once that's completed, China don't need anybody's oil but Russia's. Russia's got a huge amount of oil, so they got more than Iran's got. So the thing of it is it's not what most people make it out to be. Russia already knows if they're going to make money, that's where it's going to come from for China. China knows in any real problem, they've got to get their oil from Russia because Iran is too vulnerable. They're just too vulnerable. There's too many ways to cut Iran off or just sink their ships. Either way it goes. And Iraq already said, if they start seeing Iranian tankers going around, they're going to sink them. And they want to sink one in the Strait of Hormuz is where they want to sink one. which is just make our gas prices go up, which I don't understand why, since according to our people, we get
it's a global. It's a global
demand will
market,
increase
right?
on the
So
on the gas that is available.
Even though we're energy independent, it's still going to affect global oil prices, supply demand.
I know with all the new leases he gave out by next year, there's no way to bring our down here. We're already at $2 a gallon. If once those leases start going, we'll be at 159, 149. This is where we were the first time he was. It's going to be hard to knock that out because it is coming out of this country. So the Americans are going to start saying, well, why is our prices going up when our oil is coming from here? And they will have to adjust their prices. It's not like when the Democrats in charge. It's a whole different thing now. We're going to be much more dickier about it. The country's upset to start off with, and the Democrats are looking for a reason to fight. So we don't want to give them one. They want to just take it away from them. I would imagine by this time next year, 80 to 95% of all the oil in this country is coming from this country. Right now, it's probably, if I fudged it, about 55%. I would think it's probably closer to 40, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was going to say 30, 35. Maybe.
Yeah, but it's probably in the 40% range. But that's not going to last long. That's going to change quickly. They just opened up them two big things in the Gulf. Those two alone will bring us up to around 65%, maybe 70%. They got all this other stuff they're opening up all across the country. What's going to happen is within a year, not only will we have enough oil for our country, but we'll be selling this shit to other countries, maybe even to China. Because remember, Biden sold a shitload to China. Fucking idiot. Excuse my language.
So U.S. domestic oil production supply is roughly 60%. So it's actually pretty high.
It's a little better than I thought it was. I was thinking it was lower than that.
Yeah. I thought it was around 42, but it's not.
Yeah, so did I. But I knew he's been screaming for the last few months, drill, baby, drill. I didn't realize to what extent. So by this time next year, we'll be 100% in the country, and we'll be selling extra oil out of the country. So
we also have to restock this strategic petroleum.
Yeah, we do, because all of the whatchamacallits, the
Federal Reserves.
With the salt domes are empty right now. Louisiana was just talking about that the other day. They're empty. He was selling it to everybody. So we don't really have a strategic reserve right now. So yeah, we'll start filling that up. And then, we can pump all over. So we got that coming. So that's going to be good. The economy's adjusting. And like he told everybody, the tariffs weren't going to make anything go up or anything else go up. And so far, he's been right on the fucking money.
Yeah.
We everything's going down, including inflation. Don't ask me how he does it. I think it's sheer fucking luck if you want to know the truth. But
a lot of it's luck.
I'm just saying.
The other thing he does is he makes the markets all nervous with
he does, which helps out a lot.
By the way, when he was doing that, I was buying.
Everybody was buying. Well, he got a TV,
and it just went whoop.
You don't remember? He got a TV. He said, "People go out there and buy," because the liberals were saying he's making his friends rich. He said, "No, he's making everybody rich." What the fuck are you talking about? And he's going to do it again. He wants to see us the wealthiest, most profitable country in the world. And if he stays on the track he's doing, he's going to make it. We'll hit 40 trillion. We'll be at 40 trillion before he leaves. He's even paying off the deficit. So he's bringing in $11 trillion in business this year. And we don't have to take his word. The companies got up on television themselves and say how much they were bringing in. It's 11 trillion. By this time next year, that'll be 15 trillion. That's half of the deficit. Plus, he's getting these tariffs, 100 billion here, 300 billion here, 50 billion here, another 100 billion here. He's going to get the deficit down before he leaves. Probably he'll either pay it off or get it close. We haven't had that since Uncle Harry boy, Bill Clinton. He was at Epstein Island, by the way.
Oh yeah,
he flew 27 times on the plane. 27.
Same thing with Gates. Gates probably caused a divorce.
Yeah.
Well,
You see, Gates.
What did they say today? The Federal Reserve, was it the Federal Reserve? I forget. So whoever collects money for at the ports, they reached 100. They reached $1 billion in sales for the first time ever.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing.
You've got all these big companies now backing off of Trump, saying, "Well, hell, you know what?" And then like the guy from Shark Tank, to both of them guys, "Oh no, he's doing what he should be doing." I mean, you got big corporations out there, but you're never going to have that Bill Gates is doing. I mean, once he divorced his wife, I think he had to give up $80 billion or something. So he's probably still pissed about that. Look at Jeff Bezos, had to give up $170 billion and then he went and married a bimbo. I mean, what the fuck?
I know she got around apparently.
Yes, and what is this? Her fifth marriage? And guys, if you ever want to see the picture of Bimbo, just look at Jeff Bezos' wife. And wait, and let's. All right, Carol, we'll talk about it real fast. They are not astronauts. Just want to tell you, I'm not even sure they went to space. There was no scorch marks on the outside of the capsule, so I'm pretty sure we got the big fucking bird finger in that. Well, you notice they stopped saying that, right? Nobody's saying they went to. Because come on, we're watching the thing. It went up, it kind of stopped for a minute, it came down. I'm like, okay, that's not space. I mean, space is up and all around the spaceship.
And then one of them came out of the capsule, and then like somebody ran over and closed the door so that Big Daddy Bezos could stride through and open the door. You know,
it was too funny.
Katy Perry says, "Don't you feel the love coming off that damn thing, holding a flower?"
Well, look, I'm not going to say anything. I've been at 65,000 and 85, at 65.
It don't matter, Joe. They did it for just as like.
Oh, they did. But I will say,
that's all they did.
When you see the planet from those altitudes, it does change you. I'm not going to lie. No one I have met who's been that high, it didn't change. Astronauts go much higher than that.
Dude, their fake boobs would blow up.
They probably would. Oh shit! Or they'd be floating around, slapping them in the face, one or the other.
Okay, so the other thing is that the scientific definition of space and the political definition of the border of space are two different things, and that's the border they crossed. It's the border that's used as an international determination as to like who owns what airspace from this point on downward and whatnot. The actual scientific definition of space is 600,000 miles above the Earth is where actual outer space begins. So no. They did not become astronauts. In fact, they didn't even get as far as satellites go. So no, they're not astronauts. They're just
they never even
who rode a very expensive rocket ride up into the outer atmosphere and then parachuted back to Earth safely.
Well, I remember we were in the F-18 and the pilot was going. He said, "Now, Joe, where we are is fine." He said, "If I go up just one more mile, we're screwed." He said, "We'll just float off into space. There's no way to bring us back down." And plus, he was pushing the limits. That's what the trip was about, to push the limits of that jet and see where it would go. And I'm thinking, how did I get volunteered for this fucking job? And it was, I ain't gonna lie, it was a little scary, but it was a little exhilarating at the same time, because watching the planet, you can, and that's for you fucking flat earthers. I can tell you for a fact, there's a big arc in our planet when you're up there. Okay, I just want to tell y'all, there's a big, huge arc that goes like that.
To see it.
It's but it's scary, it's exciting, it's exhilarating, it's insane. And but that pilot was like, "Yeah, just one more mile and we're fucked." And that's what he told the traffic controller. He goes, "Yeah, they're talking to each other, going back and forth." And that's when I heard him go, "Yeah, just one more mile and we're pretty fucked. So we're gonna come on down now." And then when he dropped, when he turned and tilted, both of us floated up in the air. That's the way he was dropping. He said, "Just hang on, we're gonna be all right in a couple minutes." And it took 4 or 5 minutes before we got down far enough on the angle we were for us to come back and sit in the seats comfortably. But it's just like they test when they use the big cargo plane to help the astronauts understand what low gravity is. They put them in that plane, and then that plane just drops, and then everybody starts floating around inside the car plane. Yeah, it's a cool thing to see, and it's I'm sure it helps. But remember, people, technically, even the space shuttle, even the space station, technically is not really in deep space. It's just on the border of space. What do they call it? So, and they don't even experience real weightness. They experience microgravity. That's what they call it. And it's different than when you're out past that. So with the real astronauts that went to the moon, they experienced something different than the people in the space station does. But hey, I'm not hating. I think it's great that they're doing it. China's building a big space station. They're going to the fucking moon, going to get helium-3. They're giving America the big bird finger. Why they're going to start rushing them, going to build a big base, start mining helium-3. America better get on its ass and get to moving out there. Elon said, "Fuck you." He's going to Mars, so he don't care what y'all doing. He's going to go mine the asteroid field between Mars and Jupiter. He's going to be a quadrillionaire or whatever, a Googleaire, whatever the fuck the next thing is. It's there is so much money to be had in the asteroid belt. It's not even. It's going to be like the old gold rushes going to California. It's going to be just like that, and we're going to eventually. So he said last night his plan is to have 1,000 starships going back and forth. 1,000. I thought it was 100. 1,000. He's already going to getting ready to send a ship out there to put Starlink up around Mars. His goal is to get 500 or 600 Starlinks around Mars so you can have internet and communicate with each other around the planet. His goal is to put 46,000 around Earth. I'm telling you, this motherfucker is Drax. I'm just waiting. Ooh, I can see when he gets comfortable in Mars with his kids, all of a sudden them satellites are going to turn and start just burning us to death. I trust Elon much. I love Elon. Don't get me wrong, but I only trust him this much. I think he's brilliant, but I still only trust him about an inch. And for everybody, I'm going to tell you all this, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk is not after money. He is after colonization of Mars. Everything he's done, Tesla, those packs he's building at Tesla. So think about this.
Boring company.
Oh, the Neuro chip, but the Tesla packs he's making are for low yield sun. So when you use our sun to charge these, it charges at a crazy rate because it's so much sun. They're actually made for low light. There ain't low light on this planet. There's low light on Mars. So that's where they're going with these things. The Neuro chip, so you can run everything. He's got things set up so that you can just jump in a tube and go floor to floor to floor to floor without having any ladders or anything or stairs. I mean, he's already got a thing set up to doing Olympus Mons. They think they found the big cavern in Olympus Mons. It sounds crazy, but
there's remote viewers who saw hundreds of lava tubes beneath Olympus Mons.
Yeah, so all they're going to do is go up there. They're going to find the big open ones. They're going to cap them off. They're going to fill them up with oxygen. They're going to start planting and growing things. Their biggest problem is going to be gravity, because you can't have children without 1G gravity, because they're going to be born really weird, really strange looking, probably without arms or legs or some shit. Weird, anybody who's ever seen Get Your Ass to Mars knows that not going to be good for us. So, but inside of the mountain, they're protected from meteorites. They're protected from the radiation. They're protected from the coldness. So there's a lot going on. All they do have to figure out is how to create a 1G environment for pregnant women, and for occasionally for men and women to go walking around on just to keep their muscle tones up. But know this, guys and girls, for older people, okay? If say you're 55 or older, Mars is a godsend for you. Because if you're living there, number one, your high blood pressure goes down. All that gravity pulling on your heart and your liver and your kidney stops.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Dude, we'll be dead. We'll be
to
dead.
our question though, the actual border of space. So there are 5 layers of Earth's atmosphere. The last one being the exosphere. That is the part of our atmosphere which actually intermingles or begins to become interplanetary space, and that is starting at somewhere as high as, let me go back to that page and get the numbers. 375 miles to 6,200 miles. That's the thickness of the exosphere. So the technical beginning of space is 375 miles above Earth to 6,200 miles. The border that these
they went to 65 miles, if I remember.
The Kármán line, 62 miles above Earth. So they're 100% below the actual border.
When I didn't see scorching, I knew we were getting screwed over, man. I have watched many re-entries.
Only people who have gone to the moon have been into outer interplanetary space. There are actual astronauts, and that includes the people on the
now. Space. When you see Elon ships come in, them bitches are flaming all over, man. They land on ground, the whole sides are brown. The side, they look like a fucking marshmallows. What they look like.
Hours to open them up because they're still hot.
Yeah. So it's a different thing, and I don't know why Bezos did that. He had to have known everybody was going to just shit on him. It was like renting Venice. I mean, I understand you got a lot of money and you want to show off for your wife and your kid. Does he have kids? I don't know. But for your wife, you just want to show off at a bimbo. But if right off the bat, if everybody in town was going to just hate on you, I think I'd have said, you know what, I'm gonna take my money somewhere else. You can starve, you bitches. And it's just somebody more friendly. No, Christopher, Bill Gates got divorced a long time. I forgot how long ago, but yeah, she got like half of everything he had. Well, he's a fucking thief anyway. Why do you think when they split his company up the first time, they had to give Paul Davis half? Well, they gave him 68 billion, I think, or 70 billion. He's dead though, by the way. He was a freak
Paul
for
Allen?
space. Paul Allen, yeah, I said Davis. Yeah, he was a freak for space. Well, no, they split Microsoft in half. Oh yeah, and they're getting ready to split Google in half. They've had enough of all these mega companies. And if Elon don't watch it, he might be on the list.
He might get his company split in half. Yeah.
Somebody said, well, what happens if they throw him out the country? I said, he'll go work for China. And that's really not what we want.
Yeah.
You know, let's not piss Elon off, people. He's the only reason we have a space program. Let's be honest. We haven't had a good space program since the space shuttle. So
Yeah. If he leaves, we are hitchhiking from the Russians.
yes, China's on their way building a serious space. I mean, they haven't landed any people on the moon yet, but they're landing all kind of other rovers and shit. And they're landing on the dark side of the moon, which we never did. And thanks to them, we found that the composition of the dark side is different than the composition on the light side. So we are learning stuff, and China is sharing data. You know,
Shocker,
but
cool.
Yeah, but that helium-3 is what everybody's after. So depending on who you want to believe, it's from 10,000 to 100,000 years of fuel for the planet. They can use it to do cold fusion drives. They'll charge their drives, and just away we go. And then by then we'll know what dark matter is, or we'll know what antimatter is. We'll know how to use them. I mean, we know what antimatter is, but I think so far we've contained it for like 0.0001 seconds or something.
Yeah,
it might be better than that now, but it's pretty sad.
It's still, the half-life is so ridiculously quick. It's like boom. It's, you know, you create it and it instantly destroys it.
Frankie,
There's still some in your banana though.
Yeah.
There's antimatter in your banana. Yeah, there is. Very, very tiny, but.
Hey guys, I gotta run. All right, I gotta work in the morning.
All right, be good, David. We'll be out here in a little while.
I'll see you, Sean. Good to see you, brother.
You mean teleporting people? Oh, you're talking about teleportation. So I know of 4 countries that have done. See, this is what bothers me when we talk about this kind of stuff. Because being from the Navy, I know we lie. Like the first time I was told the speed of the Nimitz was 35 knots, and I looked at him going, you know, we got a big nuclear reactor, right?
Yeah,
and I'm thinking to myself,
we can only go 36 knots.
And then I got sanctioned because I said it did almost 70 knots, and I still remember that. But anyway, so they lie a lot. So let's say, so the Brits said recently they transported a piece of matter 1.5 kilometers, so a mile basically. The Australians said they did it for about 5 miles. Now they're talking about matter, cubes of matter. I don't know what the hell a cube of matter is. Okay.
Well, and one of them is they're doing light protons, and I think that's the furthest one. Is like 5 miles they teleported, and it's a light proton. But how? And then they say it's the same. I don't know how, but they say it's the same light proton that was in this room that they teleported 5 miles away to another room. How they determine that, I don't know, but it's still fascinating. That we're miles away from creating an actual transporter.
So, and then on top of that, you've never even heard of an American company even any of it. So we're sending shit all over the place. We probably have a way to send stuff to the space station by now. Yeah. All I want is like, when we're online, somebody can send me like a hot dog or a pizza or a hamburger. Yeah. I'll be happy then. No, I don't want that shit where you make it out the wall. I want somebody to send me a cooked one. It's it's going to be interesting. That's all technology will have.
We could have the microwave that turns into a replicator. You just go up to the wall and say, tea Earl Grey hot, or 3 tacos, ground beef, mildly spicy with cheese, lettuce.
Well, see, that comes after transportation. Once you know how to teleport things, then you can make things.
We could probably
it's just the next logical step. But and think about it. So we're going to have power that can last 100,000 years, teleport anywhere you want in the world, make any kind of food you want. We ain't gonna have no fun, man. What the fuck? But I wouldn't mind going to like Moscow for lunch and Paris for dinner.
Yeah,
things like that.
Go to the pyramids for an evening meal and then spend the night in Egypt, and the next day wake up in at China's pyramids.
It's it'll be an interesting world. But again, like I said before, none of that really matters until we unite the planet. And we had our chance in World War II, and we shit it away. So we control.
Maybe they can get another Epstein operation going, an international one.
That ain't going to help us now. We need something better than that.
That'll unite the planet.
So when World War II ended, we owned 2/3 of the world. And if we'd have done what MacArthur said and nuked Moscow, we'd have owned the world because China was already friends. They would have just sided with us. And once we took Russia, that would have been it. That would have been Europe, a little bit of South America, and we'd have been so big you could have forced them into it. Today we'd have a united planet.
Yeah, everybody but us had been weakened to the point of being. They would have needed lots.
It wouldn't even matter. We'd be the only military on the planet. We'd be the planet policemen, and all the rest of the money that we're talking about would be getting spent on science, either going to the moon, going to Mars, curing cancer, which has probably been cured.
We might already have colonies on the moon and Mars by this point.
We probably would have. Maybe that's why we didn't do it. To me, the lack of vision forward, not just for Americans, but for the whole planet, bothers me.
Yeah,
I don't know how the three of us can have more vision than these people who sit in think tanks and say, "Oh, this is how we're going to do it." I don't get that. I mean, what do they find the dumbest fucking?
Because they're told what to think.
Yeah,
that's what their problem.
Earlier in the show, Sean, I mentioned it. What if it was exopolitics involved here post World War II? We were going to go and take care of Russia and consume what we had won during the war. What if exopolitics? What if the aliens said, no, you can't do that?
Well, it might have been. Well, what's her name? Yeah, like 8 years. His Patsy girl, his girl, Epstein's girl, ain't she going to be out in like 8 years? She's been in like 4 or 5.
If she survives, sure.
Yeah. Well, no, she seems to be surviving just fine. I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe she don't know anything. Even though I think she was arranging most of it, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe they cut a deal with her.
She's Mossad.
I know. Maybe I don't know. We'll have to see what happens to her. It's if she makes it, that's a valid point. It's a very strange group of them out there. Denise, we're talking about Epstein. We're actually crisscrossing many topics at the same time. So you got to kind of grab hold and hang on.
They're all related, right? If you wonder why our psychopathic elite behaves the way they do, all you got to do is say that's Epstein.
So we have seen some of the elite that's trying to push back. They closed down Bohemian Grove. They've actually taken out quite a few things with pedophilia rings lately.
They closed down Bohemian Grove?
Yeah, they told them they'd fucking shoot them. They come back out there. And then they closed down a couple of other things besides that. So there's somebody underneath. Got to be at least one person on top because it's got to be somebody of real power. And then there's other people underneath that are fighting it out. I guess they've had enough of it. Well, think of it this way. So we know that Comey, what he was doing to Trump. We know that Brennan, what he was doing to Trump. And then the other guy was, all three of these guys look like they're going to end up in jail now.
Good.
Now, I say good too, but we both know that in the past that would have never fucking happened.
Well,
so there's some new it's going to happen. Oh yeah, they're putting one of them.
After the whole Epstein thing, I don't believe
they've talked about how they can get Hillary, but no, I don't think they're going to get Hillary. It's unless Bill dies. If Bill dies, they might get Hillary. It's now the one who they may go after.
These elites accountable. There's no way. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have a choice now. I don't think the population's not going to settle.
The only way they'll ever be held accountable is if you just see them start to disappear under night and fog, because some
you might see that.
Decided.
Well, no. They did this the other day. They did a poll on this the other day. It was like 88% of America said they want them gone. So that means that if you try to come in now as one, you're probably going to get either killed or removed. The country itself is just tired of it, and the country itself.
By the way,
none
of us are endorsing this. None of us are encouraging it.
Yeah, that's right. We're not. Y'all go be nice to each other and hug and kiss on each other, especially Jay.
That's right.
Jay needs lots of hugs and kisses. And if you want to kiss me, I got a Chihuahua you can kiss. Okay, so we'll be we'll be all happy. But I mean, at the point we're at right now, it just really depends on the top 5 who is legit and who is not legit. So there's somebody in the core group now that's legit for sure. There might even be 2 of them, but it's just who is it? Is it Trump?
No.
Trump may have turned. You know what's funny about Trump? Trump may have turned somewhere along the line, because I remember when Epstein came, there was a bunch of reporters out at Mar-a-Lago when Epstein came. This is like 18, 20 years ago, when he evicted him from Mar-a-Lago. You know that, right? Was never allowed to come back ever again. I think it had something to do with one of his daughters. I think he tried to get one of his daughters to go out. But anyway, the old man lost his mind. Trump just lost it. Told him, shoot on sight if he ever comes back. And this was before he was ever president. So I'm not sure what went down there, but there was definitely a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking, you know who I'm thinking it really is? I'm thinking it's his aide. I'm thinking it's the girl who's really doing everything, the one who's really running the country, the one who sets up all his appointments. Oh, what's her name? I can't think of her name. She sets up everything for him. Everything Trump does goes through her. She's the White House thing. I forgot what the hell you call her. It's not the girl who speaks.
She's the head of White House staff. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, she's the head. Yeah, she had everything. Yeah, she did. That's her. She's the head of everything.
Yeah.
The only person more powerful than her is Trump. Even Vance ain't more powerful than her.
Yeah, she's sketchy too.
Yeah, I'm not saying she's not sketchy. But I'm thinking she might, because she looks like one of them bitches. Like, don't touch my kid, I'll cut your dick off. She just seems to be that kind of person. Now, Vance, I'm not sure about Vance. I keep hearing he's going to be the number 1 guy for president when the election comes. That's true, because if they put up AOC, they ain't got a prayer, so that's not even a thing. Shapiro doesn't look like he really wants to get involved.
No.
He might, even if he does, I don't think he can beat him. But can JD Vance win the nomination? Can he beat out Rubio? Can he beat out Sanchez? Can he beat this? He's going to have a lot of strong competition to get rid of. So, I mean, I don't know. He's got the upper hand because he's vice president, but you know what it all really depends on? What Trump does in that last year of office. That's going to determine who's going to be your next president of the United States. I still don't think it's going to be a Democrat, because the Democrats, I don't even know where the Democrats are right now. They're just lost. They're lost in the jungle. I mean, they're just, every time I talk to one, they don't know what they're doing. Come on. Anytime you say AOC is the best party in your party, you're all fucked. Let's just be honest about it. I mean,
why not Fetterman? Would he run?
He could run. What's he going to run as? A Democrat or a Republican? If he runs as a Democrat, he's not going to get the backing of his party. He could still win the nomination. I bet you could beat out AOC and Bernie Sanders. So they were talking about an AOC and Jasmine Crockett ticket. AOC for president, Jasmine Crockett for vice president. Fuck it. If it ever happens, just know I'm moving to Mexico, people. I'll be running the network from Mexico. I ain't fucking living it.
I'll be there.
I can't. There's just no way I could do that. But gets me is I don't know who's okay. I'm watching Bill Maher the other day. He's fighting with Don Lemon. So Don said it was going on about AOC, and maybe she needs to be out front. And Bill goes, none of the people I know would vote for her. And so he said, oh, maybe your crazy friends would, Don. And then Don goes, well, really, none of my friends would vote for her. So who in the fuck, is this just the media bringing this bitch up? Because I don't know. I can't find any Democrats that said they would vote for her, not one. And I ask every night, every show, would you vote for, except for UFO on the Cover, every other show I ask, would you vote for AOC? And not, so far, nobody's voted in and said yes.
It would be insane.
I mean, come on. This is the girl that said you could work on the sun once the light goes out.
Yeah. It's working on the sun when it's at night.
Or a ceasefire is when you stomp on a fire or you put water on a fire. I'm thinking,
oh my God.
Oh my. And she said stupider shit than that. That's what's scary. And then, but I don't know. Look at this guy in New York. Thank God I don't fucking live in New York because I'd be moving.
Oh God.
Can this socialist, communist. I hate to call him communist, more socialist than communist, but can he win the mayor of New York?
He will, because these Democrats won't vote for Republicans. Of course he's going
to
win.
Well, also Cuomo's going to run in as an independent. He's going to draw,
Eric Adams.
Eric, and he's going to lose.
Yeah. Well, they were showing Eric Adams as an independent could probably pull the votes to win unless Cuomo runs. If Cuomo runs, this guy's guaranteed the job. Because Cuomo is going to take 20 or 30% of the vote of Eric Adams. So, but the Republicans are saying they're going to vote for Eric Adams, and the independents are saying they're going to vote for Eric Adams. So he should win unless Cuomo runs. Because you're right. I doubt he's going to get a fucking Democratic vote.
Yeah. They're the majority, right, in New York City. So.
Yeah, but not against the Republicans and the independents are not. And he could only get 900,000 people out of 8 million to vote. So, everybody wants to make a big deal out of it, but that's not a lot of people. So, and I don't know. See, they were talking about this with the Chuck Schumer the other day going, okay, he said, Chuck, what are y'all doing? You're doubling down on the reason that you're not in the office right now. He said, the country threw you out of office because y'all went crazy, woke, stupid. And you're doubling down on it. He said, well, no. He said, no, you are.
Yeah.
And they are. I mean, I don't know. Well, it's better for us. That means in 2026, we have a better chance of keeping the House and getting more seats in the Senate. Even though AOC said she was going to challenge Chuck Schumer for his Senate seat.
I mean, but, how? You have to be smart.
Yeah, good luck with that. Guy. Yeah, the guy, I think he had like a 1600 on his SATs. Like, he's a smart guy. I dislike him immensely, but
I don't like him either. But he's much smarter than she is. He's going to win that fight.
Yeah.
Well, what's happening is a bunch of Bronx people are coming out because she's not from the Bronx. She's from not White Cliff or somewhere. Anyway, she's from some little hotsy totsy snotty little white neighborhoods where she's from.
Actually, Mitch has a point here about our votes and about who's going to win. They do matter. The more people vote, the more it matters. What does matter or doesn't matter is the concentrations. So when we saw in the election this past year, particularly when Trump lost in the past 8 years, most of the counties in most of the states were red. And it's very small, concentrated, like 4 or 5 counties around 3 or 4 or 5, 6 cities per state that turned the tide from a red state to a blue state. So it's the concentration of where the voters are is what matters. And right now, the Democrats are scattered around enough that they're probably likely not going to win another presidential election for 20, 30 years.
Well, New York can be flipped now. The Republicans were 44, 46%. So they got a chance of flipping it. But, but that all, again, has to do with how Trump behaves. I mean, let's look at it a different way. So the Canadian government was going to go all Republican because Pink Shorts had done such a shitty job. And nobody had a chance to beat him. They were like 6%. It was an easy win. And then what did Trump do? He did tariffs, and then that flipped.
Yeah.
So now they got, again, they're back liberal again, which still don't understand, you stupid Canadians. I don't know why y'all did that. You're going to pay dearly for that. I don't know why you did that.
Well, but it sounds like with the king's abdication that might not matter much soon after that. He's basically
that's going to be interesting. So
yeah, America should have it anyway. So we'll see what the next few.
So the new king has advocated that he might sell Canada to the United States. He said we should own it anyway. We really support it, and we're the ones that supply their military. So
did he really say that?
Yes, he didn't say give it away. He said sell it to us. I think he's thinking $1 trillion to sell us Canada. And this is what I was saying earlier. Most of America was purchased. We purchased the Manhattan from the Indians. We purchased 6 states from the Mexicans. We purchased the Louisiana Purchase. I mean, most of this country had been purchased. At least 40 of the 50 states had been. So this wouldn't be something new. And if he does it, I think that whatchamacallit will sell Greenland to us. You think, what are they using it? 48,000 people. What the fuck are they using it for? I mean, they're going to let us put anything we want there anyway, but still, I think they'll let us have it. And now, Canadians, you're not going to be a state. You're going to be a commonwealth. We ain't giving you no right to vote for the president. I'm just telling y'all that now. You'll get to vote and everything else. Everything else will be just like American. Like I said earlier, your taxes will go from 66% to 30%. You'll have a better life all the way around, have better medical insurance, everything. But you ain't voting for president. There's too many fucking liberals up there. So Puerto Rico,
their medical costs will probably increase by 10x. But other than that, it'll be better.
Oh no! When they were showing it the other day on CBC, they pay far more for insurance than we do.
Really?
I mean, yeah. Well, their whole tax group for everything is 68% of everything they make goes to them. For the average American, it's between 26 and 31, depending on where you are on the sliding scale. And you can't be turned down by any of our hospitals, but you can in Canada. They can tell you to go home. But up here, you can't. In our country, you can't say that. But it's going to be different for them in some ways.
The ERs are like that. I don't know about the hospital itself, but if you go to an ER, you cannot be refused treatment.
Medicaid, Medicare is something they'll end up getting. They'll get Social Security. So they'll get all of that stuff. But where you're going to have to watch is when you get put on Obamacare. Oh, man. That's where life might get iffy-skiffy on you. If you got a decent amount of money, then you can get a decent Obamacare thing where you have a small deductible. But a lot of people get stuck with the $169 a month insurance, which everybody thinks is great, but it's got a $6,000 deductible.
Holy shit.
So do you really want to go there? I think my deductible is like $150 now.
No,
and they don't
$6,000 a month deductible.
No, it's just $6,000. Whatever. What if when you go in, like you get hurt or you get surgery, it's $6,000. No, it's wait a minute now. So it's $6,000 before you can have that. Now, once all that's done and you get hurt again, it's another $6,000. Cars started doing that too. When I was a kid, you paid one deductible a year. That was it. Now they don't do that anymore. That's some bullshit. Somebody in politicians need to fix that. It's because I thought the same thing. They just recently told my daughter, "Oh no, you're gonna have to pay this much more." I was like, makes you want to get a gun out and go ape shit.
Joe, let me ask you this question though, real quick. All right, so we get Canada, we buy Canada, okay. So are they going to still be Alberta, Ontario, Saskatchewan?
Yeah, we're not going to change any of that. We're going to make them a Commonwealth. They're going to be made a Commonwealth. They'll even, like Puerto Rico has their Puerto Rican flag. It has to fly below the American flag, but they still have it. Canada will be able to keep their flag. They'll just have to fly below the American flag. That's all it'll be, really. And then the laws are going to change, of course, and the rules are going to change. But still, they can still vote and keep their own laws or change their laws back and forth however they want to.
It would be like states without being states, but they could petition for being statehood.
There ain't nobody going to be statehood. We ain't going to let them be a state. I can tell you that now.
Well,
there's no.
Quebec, I bet you Quebec will try because
everybody's going to try. Alberta wants to be a state. Alberta's been trying. Trump even said if they leave Canada, he might help them out. But come to find out, Canada got laws like we got. You can't succeed. Yeah, people, just in case you know, if you ever want to try to succeed your state, it's a federally illegal and they can send in the troops to stop you. Just thought I'd tell you that. Yeah, I always thought the same thing. I always thought we could succeed if we had enough votes. But
this before that law. When the southern states seceded, it was possible.
Yeah. So right now, to be considered, you have to have two-thirds of your own state's vote. You have to have 2/3 of the Senate and the House, the president, and 2/3 of the nation all together. So the whole country has to vote 2/3 your way. Good luck. Fucking good luck. Ain't nobody succeeding in the out of the union. Besides, I don't think we'd go for it anyway. Maybe California, but nobody else. It would be easy. Poor California would be begging within a week. They'd lose all that federal funding. All the military would get pulled out of their country. All those places that relied on, oh man, it'd be horrible for them. They'd be bankrupt in less than a year.
Sean, would you move?
It depends on how it went down. But if it came to violence, I'm an American first. No question.
I don't think it's going to happen. It seems to calm down in there. And gruesome Newsom's on his way out. So You know,
How does that guy? I don't understand how people vote
well,
for
he's
him,
weird.
like him.
So go watch him on his show, on his podcast when he's got a Republican on. The other day he had Charlie Kirk on, and Kirk was pointing out the different fucking problems in California. He would say no, and then Kirk would say no, look, and then he'd give in. So he knows he's doing it. I guess he don't fucking care. I mean, I don't know what
running
else
for
to think.
president. He's running for
neither does
president.
grass.
That's what
Good
he's doing
luck
right
with
now.
that.
He's running for president.
He went down to South Carolina to drum up some business for that, and I was listening to what was it, NBC. Oh, he's got these big crowds. This guy walks up. Yeah, there's 70 people in here tonight.
Man,
I'm thinking, big crowd. What the fuck, man? So he can run. Gruesome Newsom's got a really bad track record, but my problem is he's a good-looking guy. He speaks well. You know, can he pull it off? Well, again, it depends who the Republican puts up, and again, it depends on what Trump. If Trump leaves this nation with a good economy, the border secure, our enemies at line, our allies in line, you probably won't see a Democratic president for 16 years. What?
Music by Brian says if California wasn't part of the U.S. anymore, all the red states would go bankrupt. California subsidized the red states.
And who told you that bullshit? That's the other way around, actually. It's last I checked, the federal government gives California $500 billion, not including all what they make off the military bases that are stationed there. So I forgot, there's a lot of military bases in California. If we pulled them all, California would lose half its revenue plus the $500 billion we took from them. They wouldn't even be able to give anybody insurance. They'd be bankrupt in a year or less than a year. They're not right now. They're the fourth largest income, but a lot of that income comes from us.
Yeah, U.S. military,
and not just from the U.S. military. It's all the people buying from them. So the rest of the country, if they succeed,
California does generate more net federal tax revenue than it takes in. So it received about $609 billion in federal funding, but it contributed about $692 billion. So it's not a lot, right? Compared to others. So I don't think it's correct to say that that California subsidizes all the other red states, but they do contribute a net $83 billion to the federal government. Mm-hmm. So it is the largest donor state.
Well, you can say that, but that doesn't include all the money they're making off of the military bases. So if you pull the military bases and the space bases, all that's the subsidy's gone.
Yeah.
Not only is it's gone, it's in the negative. Just the spaceports alone probably generate them $200 or $300 billion, and we're not talking to any of the big bases like the one in San Diego or the one up in San Francisco. They're all up and down the coast, and that's just Navy bases. That doesn't include Army bases or Air Force bases, anything else. I would guarantee you that a good 1/3 to 1/2 of their money is coming from them bases, just like Germany. America pretty much funds Germany by the amount of military bases we got there. So people have to take that in consideration. And then there's another big problem. The rest of the country would stop buying your fucking avocados and your oranges and your fruits and start buying them from Florida. Then what you're going to do? You have no military income coming in anymore, and the country cuts you off in a purchase. And we've done that before. So you're pretty much screwed. You're a bankrupt state. Doesn't matter how big and pretty you are. You're a bankrupt state, and trying to sell overseas.
We pretty much already are a bankrupt state. I paid 55% of my income in taxes.
And that's the other thing when we talk about taxes, that they're ridiculous. They're ridiculous. Yeah. Now, Jimmy, I actually like California. I've been to California. Well, I've been to LA about 23, 24 times. I've been to California probably around 30 or 40 times. I was stationed in San Diego. I don't have anything against Cali, except you have the worst politicians I've ever fucking seen.
100%.
I mean,
completely and utterly incompetent.
You got Mayor Bass out there. Mayor Bass out there, who's she's an idiot. And then you got Gruesome Newsom. And I don't understand it, because when you look at all the freaking counties, they're mostly red.
Well, but also if you look, we played her actual oath of office, and I forget the exact wording of it, but she's recently said that she's going to allow the police to shoot at ICE agents who conduct operations in their state or in her city rather, which is basically, I think, is against her actual oath of office. She should be removed from office.
She's a mess. Well, she got mad at me because I interviewed her when I was down there last year, and which was a good interview. But she basically, it wasn't about the fires. I was going to do it about the fires. I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it about L.A. losing its business of Hollywood to Atlanta to New Orleans and to Canada. About 88% of every movie's made now is made out of freaking L.A. And most of the TV series are. So I asked her about what can happen. She said, oh, that's partly the governor's fault. He don't want to lower the taxes and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And then Newsom said, okay, I'm going to lower the taxes to get our business back. Then he found out that they don't pay no tax or 1% tax in Atlanta. So he's like, oh, well, we can't do that. Fuck that. We can't do that. So bam, they couldn't pull it off. Atlanta has everything.
Well,
and Georgia does. They have oceans.
YouTube and AI are going to destroy Hollywood, and they're already it's already on its way.
It's just a mess. And then Rumble's going to take YouTube out. It's crazy, man.
We'll see.
Yeah, have y'all seen?
Spotify money.
Have y'all? Oh no, you got.
I don't make any damn money from Rumble. I'll tell you that.
It's but you got. Well, you how many times you've been on? You ain't been on that long, but I make money on Rumble. So the thing of it is, Rumble launched a shitload of commercials against YouTube. So what they got is they got the Rumble guy there, and he said, and he's cursing and doing stuff. And the YouTube guy's like, and he's backing up, going away. So the entire commercial is about what YouTube won't let you do and what Rumble will let you do. And when I got on Rumble, I didn't think there was anybody on it, but there's way more people on there than I realized. I still use YouTube. I'm always going to use them. I use them mainly for ever since they took that money making page away from us. They've been on my shit list. But you know, we use them for storage.
I make
we
more
talk
money
about
on Spotify with 20% of the views of YouTube. So like I'm all in on Spotify.
You know, yeah, I'm getting ready. I was thinking about Spotify the other day, and there was somebody else just hit me up about monetizing. I've been getting a lot of different, because we're on so many of these things. It was ModQ or somebody, they hit me up about monetizing too. Spotify hit me up first, and then GoodPod, I think it was, hit me up too. Once you get enough archives on there, they're like, oh yeah, come monetize yourself. Yeah, whatever, asshole. And it varies from thing to thing. For us, Rumble's performing better than YouTube is. I don't know why. It just is. It's who's that? Marshall. I couldn't tell you why. It's just a thing. And the only thing sucks for us is we had a great page up with a lot of stuff on it for sale, and because you know the Science and Beyond and the Gray Zone were only for purchase. They were on the middle range list, and they were doing well. And the thing would generate about $6,000-7,000 a month. With only, I think it had that many people on it, and it was generating that. It was really nice because we weren't making money off advertisement. We were making money off of people purchasing stuff from it. You know, I try to get this across the host all the time. You only need 1,000 listeners at $5.99 to make $6,000 a month. You know, it's not what people think it is. People always think you got to have these big ass numbers. You don't. Now I tell you, who will pay me well when I finally get through my 10,000 is TikTok. I'll probably start making $4,000 or $5,000 in TikTok pretty quick.
You using TikTok?
No, I use it for right now. I'm using it for Lola has her own channel there. My Chihuahua.
Those terms of service basically give the Chinese Communist Party
they
carte
well, so
blanche
does
on every computer in your household.
Right? Well, yeah, they can't get in my guy. I don't have to worry about that. Way my system's set up, they ain't fucking getting in here. Matter of fact, if they try, they'll probably set the Pentagon off on their asses. It's but you know, I've been this kind of stuff is easy for me because I've been doing this a long time, and I got a lot of friends that do this. So security, I don't worry about. I should worry about it, but I don't. These computers. So Billy Reams gave me the software right now. I'm running on here for security, and he does security for the Pentagon, so I'm not so much fucking worried about it. Yeah, I tell you where he was at first. He's at, this bastard's crazy, real quick. So this son of a bitch, I met this guy 25 years ago. And I met him. He was sending me UFO stuff all the time. So he said, "Oh, this ain't good enough." The bastard started hacking NASA. He hacked NASA 4 or 5 times. He found all kind of shit. He's sending me shit left and right. And then he hacked him one day and they got his ass. They're waiting at his house for him. Gets to his house. Sounds like one of these fucking movies. Gets to his house. They're arresting. They're dragging down a Quantico. They're telling him all this shit. And then some high-ranking general comes in. I think it was a colonel, actually. He said, "Well, look, you're looking at 10 to 15. You can come work for us for about 10 to 12 years. He said, "This is your pay." They fucking started him out at a fabulous pay way back then. It was $175 a year plus travel, bonus, and expenses, and all kind of shit. And he said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "But because you did this with NASA, we're sending you to the HARP facility in Alaska." So that's where he was for like 8 years, man. He was sending me all kind of shit. He's like, so what they did was, this was really weird. I had such a high security clearance. So he ran it through and then he cleared it because he didn't want me getting in trouble and he didn't want to get in trouble. So they just started sending me shit after shit after shit. And I'm like, "Billy, stop." He's like, "Why?" I said, "Because I can't share it." I said, I don't want stuff I can't share. I said, just let me be ignorant like everybody else. He's like, "Why?" I said, "Because it just pisses me off." So then he went and did 2 years at Pine Gap when they said they was closed. He was out there for 2 years doing security is what he was doing. Then the Pentagon had gotten hacked like 3 times. So they brought him back to the Pentagon and he works a special section of the Pentagon. And he said, "You want me to send you some US stuff?" I said, "No, stop." I said, "I've already had," I said, look, I went and testified for them 3 times. So obviously I know more than they know. I said, "So let's just leave it at that." And then he calls me up. He goes, "Oh shit, Joe, what the fuck you been doing?" He's reading through my file. He's telling me what I told him. He said, "There's comments on it." I said, "I bet you there is comments because this is the girl. I can't remember her name. She's a senator. I think she's her name's Nancy. Black, she's a pretty woman. She's sitting up there like this. And I'm talking. And every now and then you'd see her like, look at the Quantico guy. Because I requested a polygraph. I didn't want to do this without one. She'd see her and he'd go. And then, so finally, this fucking guy over here from the Pentagon's giving me this look. I said, "Well, you know what? If I was doing your mom last night, it would show up on the thing." And the thing goes, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. He's like, "Jesus." The guy said, "I'm telling you, look how relaxed he is." He said, "Look, observe his body language. He's relaxed. He's comfortable. He's talking to y'all. He's not even tense a little bit." He said, "Everything coming out of his mouth is true." So on the first set, I'm getting ready to leave. This guy comes up, 1-star admiral. He just starts ripping me. "I fucking hate you. You fucking changed my life. I don't want to fucking talk to you anymore. This shit, as far as I was concerned, didn't exist. None of this was real. And I didn't want to be involved." He said, "I just fucking hate you." And he meant what he was saying. And I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, dude." I said, "They requested I come, not you." And he said, "Now for the rest of my days that I'm on this planet, I have to know that we're not fucking alone." He said, "I didn't want to think about that." He said, "Now, not only do I have to think about we're not alone, but I got to think about what the fuck we're going to do about it." I'm like, "What the fuck you want me to tell you?" I'm thinking,
Yeah.
it was crazy. The first session was really crazy. The second time was a lot more laid back. They had a good, strong questions for me. They had first time I had the second guy from Quantico, number 2 polygraph. First this time they had the number 1 guy. And I'm talking, I'm doing my stuff, and he's looking at me laughing. He's like, "Why?" He said, he's telling me the other guy said, you weren't lying the whole time. You were very relaxed. He said, "You're just relaxed." He said, "Either you're the best fucking liar that ever lived on the planet. We need to hire your ass tomorrow, or you're just telling the truth." And they had another lady there, and she's asking just question. And I'm steady, just pop, 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 pop. She goes, "How can you answer so assured?" I said, "Because I've been doing this for 43 years. She said, "That last statement you said could not be true." And I looked over at the guy and he looked up at her. She said, "It's exactly what he said it is. It's true." He said, "You're going to have to deal with it." Because we got into a point where we started talking about mill labs. And, well, guess what? Our government don't know that we're mill labbing people. Lucky I didn't get my ass killed over that one. I'm like, Jesus, people. I mean, really, they were surprised. Especially the Congress people, they were really surprised. The military, and that was another weird thing. So when I was invited, I was supposed to speak to Congress. So the first time I showed up, the whole side we were at the press club in whatever they call it. And the whole side of the wall was military people. I'm like, that made me a little nervous, thinking, what the fuck? What are they doing here? And then there was a couple of senators I recognized, quite a few reps and some House reps. And I was like, and then they just bam, bam, bam. The first day we did it was 12 hours. It was 12 hours, 10 hours, and 8 hours on the first trip. And the next trip was just 8 hours, 8 hours, and 8 hours. And I remember because I told him at the first day, I said, if I'm going to be here all day, I want some steak and lobster. He comes with a steak like this. Oh, wow. I'm still hooked up to the machine going. It was, but when he originally called me, he'd asked me if I'd do it in the public. And I said, well, first off, you don't want most of this stuff in the public. And secondly, it was before I sold my construction company. See, if they'd have asked me now, I'd have probably said yes, because I sold my company. So my customers wouldn't got upset. As far as the radio station goes, it's just good business for the radio station. But most of that stuff, it'll be classified. I'll be dead and gone. It'll still be classified. It was, we took deep dives in how abductions happen, how they're going, who's here, who's not here, what exactly to hear, different planetary stuff. And it was funny I was talking about the cleanup crew, the Browns. And while I was talking about it, I was giving them a kind of a scale of what the planets and all looked like. And son of a bitches, when I came back this time, they knew where they were. Or at least they thought they did. And then they wanted to know how I got such a high clearance and what kind of aliens was I chasing when I was in the Navy. I said, I wasn't chasing none. I said, I was working on a nuclear reactor. That's why I got that clearance. Oh, no, Joe. It should have been like a 7 or 8. You got a 10. People don't get 10s. He said, you were only a lieutenant and then lieutenant commander. He said, no. I said, in the beginning, I was a fucking enlisted man. I said, well, he said, what? I said, yeah, I was E1, then E3, then Rent-A-Crow, which is just, they give you a crow before your time. And then I was, field production to lieutenant. And the only reason they gave me lieutenant commander is they was trying to keep me from getting out. I mean, fuck you. I was in 9 years. I wanted out. I was like, no, it's time to go, man. I'm ready to go do something else. And you know what it was? I'll be honest with you. I joined the Navy for one reason. I was my dad had died when I was 15, 16. And I took every dangerous job I could get. I was a shooter. I was an AC. Then I got special forces. I was just, my commander asked me one time, he said, are you suicidal? I was like, I don't think so. He said, I don't know. You kind of act like it. Because I'd get out there. I got in trouble because we were a shooter. In case I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, what a shooter is. They're the guys who launched the planes I was on a Nimitz. And I'm just a guy out there, doing like that. And I was out there fucking around one day with something. And I had my arm up like this. And I'm doing something and I went like this. And when I realized I had my hand up like this, I'm like, fuck, because they can't hear you. They're simply going by signs. There's no hearing me. And I'm thinking, oh man, I can't move because I can't move this hand at all. So I had to get this one. And I'm telling the guy, come over here. Because if I'd have went like that, that fucking plane would have went, killed everybody that was standing in front of it. So I said, no, it was, I didn't think it was that dangerous. I thought it was more fun than danger. Come on, I was 18. 18, 19, I didn't care. I was having a ball. And the only reason I got promoted to an officer is because I fucked up one day. They had an A6 intruder on the deck the missile alarm went off. And there was no electronics guys up there. My original MOS was Advanced Avionics, Advanced Electronics. So I said, let me look. I went over there. And sure enough, one of these fucking idiots took the pin that they have safety pins in them, and had the pin cocked ass in there, pushing the wire down on the thing. And I'm thinking, you motherfucker trying to kill all of us. So I got in the plane. The pilot freaked out. I said, you got to get out the plane. I get in the plane. I start taking shit apart. I finally find where the thing is. It only took me about 5 minutes. I took it apart, pulled it loose, had the guy pull it out, reset the pin. I put everything back together, and we launched the guy. And my captain was like, my first officer was like, wow, I'm impressed. And a week later, he called me up to the conning tower. They had been having a problem with a radar system. And I can't even say the name of this damn system because it's still classified. But anyway, they were having a problem with this weapon system. And I opened it up after I turned the radar off and started digging around. And I found a fucking nick in the wire. Just a tiny, like a nick like the size of this fucking pinhead. And what it was doing is every now and then when the ship would hit a wave or something, or there'd be a little motion, it would hit against the metal part and short it out. He told me they had at least 6 or 7 different electronics people come up there and look at it. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He said, you're being assigned to the bridge. He said, I'm going to talk to you later about it. Because I put everything back together and never gave him a problem again. And then about 3 weeks later, I was he brought me up to the bridge and said, okay, you're getting a field commission to lieutenant. I'm like, really? Really? I was, you know how much better pay the lieutenant gets in hazard pay and sea pay and shit. I was like, fucking A. But they put me on hold because of the reactors. There was a couple of things I was doing on board that had to be a serious clearance, and it took them a while to do a clearance. And then they were finished. They let me loose. And I remember when I went home on leave, every person I knew, every family member and every person I knew, the fucking FBI. Every one of them. Fucking friends I hadn't seen, guys, in, I don't know, 10 years they had talked to. I was like, Joe, what did you do? I said, nothing. I got promoted. No way. I said, yeah, I got promoted. He's like, really? I was like, yeah. Now, I mean, they did it. And then I still remember I was on board. They sent me, I went on board a submarine to fix something. And I'm working on something, and the number one came up behind me. He said, who the fuck are you? He's going on and on and on. And I looked over at him, and I seen this thing. I said, I bet you my security clearance is higher than yours, dude. You need to calm down. And the captain walked up behind him and said, Joe, you got to fix this. And almost. He said, who is this guy? This lieutenant, where did he come from? You don't belong here. I mean, he's number one. He knew everybody in the ship. And he said, well, he came from the Nimitz, and his security clearance is higher than yours, so I would leave him alone if I was you. He's like, he told me that. He said, you know, he knows shit that you don't know. Let me tell you that. But it's only operational stuff, you know, the inner workings of a certain type of system. We had a lot of funky electronics back then. I mean, a lot of funky electronics. Half the shit on that ship, and I shouldn't even say this, was probably being tested. I hate to even say it, but we'd get stuff and they would tell us, oh, we're going to install this new system. Let's see how it works. What do you mean, let's see how it works? You haven't tested this shit yet? Oh, man. Anyway, it was a lot of fun, though. Carly, I was on the Nimitz for a while. Well, the funny part is when I was in Special Forces and I was on the Nimitz awaiting assignment from the Special Forces. Oh, no, I'd already done a couple assignments for them. And I was waiting. I was like my 6th or 7th assignment. And my captain said, fuck you. He ain't going nowhere. Yeah. And I'm telling you, the commander, he went as high up as he could all the way to Avalon. And the captain said, you ain't going fucking nowhere. He's like, and obviously command agreed with him. So I was on the Nimitz for the rest of my time, which I guess was a good idea. You know, I didn't get as much trouble. That's for sure. It was fun. Anybody who's been in this,
what'd you have for dinner every Friday night?
Usually, I honestly want to know the truth. Usually, it was either a steak or seafood.
Good seafood, though.
It was always good seafood. It was, they gave us steak twice a week. They gave us seafood usually twice a week, and then they gave us some I don't know what the fuck you would call it. It looked like some mishmash that was mashed and thrown into a plate.
Imitation lobster tail.
Then we had green eggs in the morning, which sucked. They were powdered eggs. They didn't keep real eggs. They did sometimes it would be real eggs on the ship, but most of the time it was powdered eggs. It was, you're like, what? You get powdered eggs and bacon. I guess Sean probably ate better than we did out there rolling around.
No.
I did.
No, I know you did. Sean did. Yeah. The sailors always were fed good. They always took good care of them. The Nimitz, the carriers ate the second best. The subs ate the best. They served steak every night on the sub when I was there. Every night. Every night. Well, you could eat other stuff, but they had steak every night. And I'm not talking some shitty steak. I'm talking ribeyes or fillets. No, they didn't fuck around. Well, honestly, when you're stuck underwater for months at a time, you need something to distract your ass with. Shit, dude, I was only down there 9 days, 8 days. I was ready to be off that fucking thing. I was, fuck that. I was ready to be off of it. I mean, if I had to stay, I would have, but I was ready to be off of it. guy tells me, "You don't want to be a submariner." I said, "Nope, I'm going back to my aircraft carrier." He said, "But it's safer down here." I said, "I don't give a fuck." Back to my aircraft.
I think I'd rather be on the sub. No one can see you.
But it was always fun it was always fun, when we were working, because it always amazed me that we're doing touch and goes, and there's a submarine sitting next to the carrier, and there's a tender sitting next to the submarine, and we're offloading missiles back and forth and fuel and stuff. And they started doing that. There was something happen. I don't even know what it was. There was something happening. It used to be the subs would go off and get tended away from us. But some reason or another, we were changing out missiles, and they made us do it. So they were fueling, and they were sending these rectangular box up to the deck, and we had this weird circular crane-looking thing that would come down and grab the Polaris, pull it out, put it into this other crate. They would put it all together, and then we'd take the other one and drop it back into the tube, and away we went. But anyway, we got to get out of here in a minute. It's already 10 o'clock. See, we'd already be in Sean's time, man. Look at that shit. Yeah. We'd already be
damn straight, man. Yeah. Yep.
So guys and girls, starting next week, we'll be ending anywhere from 9:30 to 9:40. Sean's going to be coming on around 9:50. And
that's Sean Patrick Castle.
The other Sean. And he'll be coming on, and y'all can check him out. He's crazier than the three of us put together.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes. Too much time. Yeah, it's what happens when you drive around a tank all the time, bounces your head around. It's like one of them old things you see in your car. No, we really got to go.
I'm surprised I still have hearing, but
oh yeah, I'm amazed by that. I've never been in one, but the one we stole. But that wasn't. Yeah, we're gonna go, guys. Yeah, be sure to come catch him next week. He's going to be on. We'll already be off by this time, so he can be on time. Y'all should be sure to check him out. You know what? We'll tackle a little bit more Epstein next week, and maybe a couple other things. Well, I mean, there's only so much we can say about Epstein right now, because basically we're getting the fucking finger, and we're getting the finger. That's what we're getting. When Pam Bondi did that shit, I like Pam Bondi, but when she did that shit the other day, I was kind of like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't understand why she didn't just say that from day one and say, hey, we don't have one. Biden's destroyed it. Most of America would have accepted that. And now that you've been playing, let's bounce it against the wall. It's going to be a lot harder. You might be able to sell 60%, but the rest of us are going to be like, give us something. Yeah, we want to see a list with Chuck Schumer on there, Shitty Schiff on there, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. Well, look, we know about Bill. He was on the plane list 27 times, so we know about Bill. He had that little 19-year-old he kept at the house, so who knows? No, really.
Good night, Amelia.
Good night, Amelia. Sleep tight. Glad to see you in here, sweetie.
So,
we'll have to bring her on when we're talking about true crime.
Good night, Sherry.
Anyway, on that note, we're going to get out of here. Y'all be sure to come catch up with Sean Haslam next week. Sean, tell them where you're going to be next Sunday so they can find you. The other Sean.
Oh, Sunday. Yes. I'll be on UPRN and on this channel into the night from 8:10 to 9:10 p.m.
Y'all be sure to come see him, because he's going to be the closing show for a while. On that note, I want to thank everyone for tuning into the chat. I hope y'all all enjoyed the show tonight. Again, any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, please direct them to Michelle DeRoche. On that, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.